deals like Big Bass Splash and our exclusive BetMGM Joker Cash Spree. Play live from the MGM Grand and Bellagio. It's Vegas, baby, right here in your pocket. BetMGM, it's showtime!
Sky Sports presents Summertime.
All smiles in the sunshine.
Let's get started.
Sunshine and champagne.
There's a lot of golf left this year.
Just gets better and better.
This is what I love about live sport.
It is going to be a cracker.
Well, the camera's close.
All this incredible sport ahead of a groundbreaking Premier League season. This summer on Sky Sports.
The wait is over and the countdown to kickoff has begun. Single game tickets for the 2025 NFL season are on sale now. Visit NFL.com/tickets to purchase tickets today. Tickets are available through the NFL Ticket Network, including Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and Sports Illustrated Tickets. Also, get your tickets to the Patriots preseason opener. That's not a phrase you hear very often, which might be the point. They are going to, as the Patriots announced today, etch a legacy in bronze forever. Tom Brady's statue will be unveiled on August 8th prior to the Patriots preseason opener against the Commanders. Welcome back to the Insiders. Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport. Stacey Dales, your thoughts on a preseason unveiling of the GOAT's statue?
Can't wait. Love the GOAT. That post was done yesterday, 6/12. That would be Tom Brady Day. So I'm a big fan of that. He won 6 Super Bowls with the team. He wore the number 12 with the team, obviously. Not a particular fan of a preseason game unveiling, but it's got to happen, and he's a TV star now. So what are you going to say about it? By the way, happy Father's Day, guys.
Oh, thanks, Dales. I am a fan of this, mainly because if you're a Patriots fan, you want a nice, low-key environment to go celebrate Tom Brady. Plus, you have to go to this preseason game. Not everyone goes to a lot of the preseason games. This forces fans to go. Genius by the Patriots. But anyway, plus Tom Brady is mostly busy during Sundays this year. Happens to be on Fox. So all in all, I support the decision. What say you, Tom?
I would also think that Mike Vrabel enjoys the fact that once it comes time to play the real games, the full focus will be on these Patriots and not the legacy past, even though it's one of his
probably right.
good buddies who's going to be etched in bronze, hopefully with the view that Mike has right out of his office there at Gillette Stadium. Happy Father's Day, as Dale said to everybody out there. 5 teams in minicamp next week. This show will be back 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.
Sky Sports Action.
Life is a story we get to embrace every day.
Get ready for a summer of epic friendships.
We are living the dream, my friend.
Enjoy more of the latest blockbusters.
Let's give the people what they want.
On Sky Cinema.
Declaring your winner by unanimous decision,
As soon as the final whistle went at Wembley, generations of anguish ended as these rugby league-loving Robins gained a newfound respect. 45 years on from their last Challenge Cup win, Rugby League's grandest trophy belongs once more to Hull KR, and their fans are making the most of the long-awaited return of silverware to the east side of this city. Will 2025 see more come their way? Well, tonight on Sky Sports, the Robins will look to inflict further pain on the struggling Dragons, and in doing so press home their credentials as Betfred Super League title contenders. Well, 13 rounds in and they sit 2 clear of the reigning champions Wigan. That pair clear of what looks increasingly like a pack of 7, chasing the remaining 4 playoff places. Tonight's visitors bring up the rear of that group. Sitting in 9th, Catalans aren't out of the reckoning, but know they can ill afford to slip much further behind. So an 8th consecutive league and cup win for Willie Peters and Hull KR sees them arrive for what they hope will be a night of celebration. They have warned, however, that a loss here would see any post-match plans shelved. Win, and top spot is further secured, and the Cup heroes can parade once more in front of their delirious supporters. Well, out to rain on the parade are interim head coach Joel Tompkins and the Dragons. 5 consecutive defeats and an astonishing 252 minutes without a point might see them classified as easy beats, but this side will be hell-bent on rescuing their season at the expense of the club that dumped them out of the Cup just a few weeks ago. Revenge maybe, repairing a tattered reputation perhaps. Either way, we await a reaction. Yes, good evening and welcome to round 14 of the Betfred Super League, starting here at Sewell Group Craven Park with the clash between the Robins and the Dragons on Sky Sports. In fact, it's not a good evening, it is a great evening, and it has been a great week for Rugby League. We've had Sir Billy Boston knighted, we've watched a thrilling Challenge Cup final, and we've seen Hull Kingston Rovers bring silverware back here for the first time in 40 years and the Cup for the first time in 45 years. We expect tonight, Jamie Jones Buchanan, one heck of a party on Sky Sports.
Yeah, first time in my lifetime, Brian, that I've had the Challenge Cup, and a lot of expectation from these fans watching a 3-year project case study where they've nearly won silverware, grand finals, Challenge Cups, not quite got there. We felt that they had to do it this year in 2025. They've gone and done that, they've raised the bar, now there's a level of expectation, but they've unleashed a beast as well, because it's not a finish line. As we know, when you win those trophies, you've got to keep going, because the expectation is there should be another one coming soon.
Well, what will it mean to the little boys and girls of East Hull?
Yeah, well, I used to be a ball boy here, Brian, from 8 years old. It's a completely different place. You know, that club was in trouble at that stage in its history. For the club to get success, for it to get the support that it gets, for the community that this club has built around the team being successful, it means the world, doesn't it? And the support and the connection between this club and the fans has never been stronger in the club's history. And that's what's special. We love coming here. We love coming to games here because there's an air of positivity. In team sports where vitriol often rules the roost, that word doesn't mean anything here. It's all positive.
And the roar goes up as the Robins take the field here to go through their pre-match warm-up. Well, we will hear what it means to the supporters of Hull Kingston Rovers very shortly. To do that and to give us a news roundup, we can cross for the first time this evening and say hello to Jenna Brooks. Jenna.
Thank you, Brian. There is only one place to start, and that is, of course, with Sir Billy Boston, who this week received the very first knighthood for a rugby league player in the sport's 130-year history. Of course, this news generated plenty of praise. This tweet here from the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. He said, Billy Boston is a true trailblazer who has contributed hugely to rugby league. It's a historic wrong that a sport which is the backbone of many communities has waited so long to receive this honour. He goes on to say he has left a truly enduring legacy. The first knighthood in rugby league could not go to a more deserving player. The 90-year-old was one of the greatest ever and a trailblazer for black sports stars when he played for Wigan and Great Britain in the 1950s and 1960s. A huge congratulations to Billy and his family. Now we are here at the home of the Challenge Cup holders, Hull KR. They've had some very good news this week, not just winning the Cup, but also they've held on to Tyrone May. He's agreed a new 2-year deal. But this is it. This is the piece of silverware, and all the loving fans behind me, they waited 40 years to get their hands fans on this, and I've actually got some fans behind me that I want to speak to. Daisy, let me come to you first. What does seeing this here at Craven Park mean to you?
So much. Just to see like all my family when they won it, it was just amazing. Such an unbelievable experience.
And Lucy, no doubt you feel the same way.
Definitely. I've been going all my life with my mum and dad, and my little boy came with us last week. Just to see it with them means everything. Like, we're just so proud.
And Riley, I believe you've got a little bit of a story, something perhaps that no other little boy has experienced.
So we saw all the players at the service station, and I got to go, JWH invited me on the coach.
And a photo to boot.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. And Aj, a lifelong fan I have alongside me, you've experienced the lows of the lows with this great club. What was it like being at Wembley on Saturday? I can see the tears in your eyes.
To be honest, in 1980 I was there. I was 18. I'm 63 now. I never thought it'd take that long to get back to Wembley. But the emotion of everybody, from people like Riley to all the girls, granddad's kids, this is the Rovers family. It's brilliant being at this club. I didn't think it'd take that long to win a trophy again or to win the Challenge Cup. Fantastic. It's made me so happy.
Yeah.
You know.
I bet it has. And look, I can tell you, Brian, that here today, tonight, we're going to see the biggest ever home crowd at Craven Park. Let's have a cheer. You guys are the Challenge Cup holders. Brian, back to you.
Jenna, thank you very much. Well, let me tell you, that gentleman wasn't the only person in this stadium that didn't expect it to take 45 years. More on that shortly. Just a reminder, of course, in the week that the great Billy Boston has been knighted. Sir Billy, you can see a Super League Supermen edition with Billy. It's available now on demand. Some wonderful tales from one of the greatest rugby league players we have ever seen in this special week for Billy and his family. Okay, it took 45 years to bring the Challenge Cup back to the east side of Hull. That gentleman didn't expect it to take that long. Neil Hudgell, the owner of Hull KR, I'm pretty sure you didn't expect it either.
Well, there's been times in that 45 years when I thought it was never going to happen. I was wondering at 75 minutes on Saturday if it was going to happen. It's happened. There's been a tidal wave of emotion for a number of days since then, and, you know, to some extent, things are still sinking in a little bit.
Okay, you were first brought to a game by your grandparents when you were 7 years of age. You fell in love with Hull KR, the east side of Hull, the old Craven Park. You were at this game as owner of Hull KR with your grandchildren. How special was that?
The next generation, see all these kids here, you know, it's all about, you know, continuity and, you know, my grandparents brought me in and we had 10 years of success, then 30 years of misery, and, you know, at the start of Isaac's journey, it was down there, it was, am I bringing this boy into a lifetime of misery? So, you know, the special things for me on the weekend was the two boys helping lift the cup, two boys in bed with the cup the next day, and then us all on the bus coming round East Hull on the Sunday and reflecting on, you know, so much has changed in the time that it's taken to get from there to now, and the emotions are all about not so much necessarily everybody that's here, but everybody that's not here.
Okay, and I want to talk about it shortly. There are 600 community kids parading around the stadium here today, and of course, soaking up this wonderful atmosphere. A little birdie tells me Neil Hudgell runs almost every day. Two questions. Have you run since the Wembley final? And while you were running, who were the people, the Robins that weren't here, that you were thinking of?
I've not run every day. I've run 4 days, so I wrote Monday and Tuesday off as just I wrote them off. So I've run since. So yeah, who do I think about? I think about people who've not here. You did a fabulous tribute to Rob Crossland last year, who was my buddy from school, who would have been on that bus with me round East Hull. I think about Phil Lowe, you know, icon of the game. I think about the chairman that was before me, Colin McNichol. His son's on the board now, and there's been a fabulous part of the club. I think about Paul Sewell, our chairman, who's been pivotal to me for everything. I've been very lucky the last few years because we've had Paul Aiken come in, Willie come in, and then Paul Sewell. So those three people have underpinned everything that's changed about this club.
It is, and plenty has changed. John?
Yeah, that was my point, really. What was the turning point? You know, if you go through 2015, 2016, a low point for the club, how have you got to where you are now, and what was the most important moment in that journey?
Key people. You know, it was really easy for me, actually, to just throw money at a problem and never fix it. You know, you see clubs at the bottom end of the table where, you know, I was caught between two stools. I ran a business and I had a rugby club. And rather than bringing the right people, that had the ability to drive a business forward, we sort of did our fixes. So the big changes were Paul Lakin, massive. Went into football for 10 years, first time around. When Paul was here with Justin, we got to top 4. Didn't realise what we had, I don't think, and never kicked on. And then he came in, Willie's come in and he sweats it. You know Willie very well. And, you know, he's all over the detail, 24/7. And just for the maturity of everything, to run a board of directors and to understand business from top to bottom, Paul Sewell has been a fantastic sounding board, and he's just so wedded to everything that's community about it. So at the heart of it is good people, but then, of course, you've got to have a crowd, you've got to have a support base, and there's nothing like the whole, you know.
Oh yeah,
we were ball boys as kids.
Yeah.
You know, the passion for it, and I've got a rash because of the number of men that have kissed me since last weekend.
Bearded men.
It just means, well, we'll have a little cuddle in a minute.
You
know, it means so much, and I've seen so many tears from so many people. But equally, I think for me now and for the rest of the club, what we're about is not winning one trophy. You know, there's lots of clubs that win one trophy and disappear. You know, and it's easy to talk it, but the last club that won this cup went on and won another league, won 2 leagues in succession, beat the Queensland team, achieved a bit of what you might describe as greatness. The challenge for us is to celebrate that trophy for what it is, which is a fabulous achievement, but to use that as a platform for something far better.
Yeah. OK, I know Jamie wants to talk to you about your recruitment and future plans. To take us there, Kyla Moore has been given access into the inner sanctum here to get a visual representation of the direction of travel of Hull Kingston Rovers when it comes to recruiting players.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I'm stood inside here at the Hull KR dressing room. You know, a lot was made about the recruitment ahead of season 2025, and I've just noticed something in regards to that. You can see here, James Batchelor, just 100 games next to his name. Now, that is a huge achievement in itself. However, you look at the players that Willie Peters targeted, players with a proven pedigree. Michael McIloran won every single trophy in the domestic game. Jarawira-Hargreaves, World Club Challenges and NRL Grand Finals all in there too. Willie Peters going after players that know how to win big games, that have tasted success. And with those 2 players, throw Tom Davis in there as well, Hull KR are now, what I believe, a club that don't just hope for trophies, it's an expectation.
Jamie. Don't just hope for trophies, it's all about expectation. You're talking about player recruitment, players who are winners. And it's evidenced in their past. When you're talking about some of the staff and you've reminisced about what it means to people off the field, what does a winner look like at OKR? What are some of the qualities and virtues of the staff that have given the players and coaches tools?
Team first, isn't it? You know, ultimately, I thought last week, some of the sort of takeaways for me when you look at things that go on the margins is the lads that didn't play, now they celebrated success. You know, it's very easy if you're not selected to sulk off and go into a corner, but I just think there's this... They look after themselves, the police themselves. There is a culture within the club that's never been there and that is just growing year on year. And to have, you know, Mickey Mack and JWH spend their final years here, sort of trusting this has been an environment where they can finish their careers on a high. You know, the lads that are behind them are drinking up that knowledge. And, you know, it's just, you get a momentum, don't you? Once you get a momentum, once you get out that bottom end of the table and you start to believe, then, you know, the dynamics all shift and there's people now want to come here. You know, whereas even 5 years ago, we're at the bottom and you're almost, you know, you're picking up who's left. And it's, you know, it's just a different... So we're looking at 27 and 28 now.
A few years ago, they might wanted to go to the west side of the city. You were having a pretty good season. Would you have a kind word for your neighbours over on the west side of the city? Be honest.
I always have a kind word. You know, Adam was a really good friend of mine and still is a very good friend of mine, so I miss him. Andrew sent me a well-done message in the week, and it's good because, you know, again, you know, the golden era of Hull Rugby was when Rovers and Hull were the top of the tree. So the kind word is that's fine as long as we're first and they're second.
The rugby league capital of the country, Neil Hudgell, the owner of Hull Kingston Rovers. Let's hear from the head coach, Willie Peters, with Jenna.
Thanks, Brian. As we know, it is party mode here at Craven Park. Well, I think it's fair to say that Hull KR have been doing a little bit of partying since Saturday. But first things first, Willie Peters, can we even do this interview? Have you got your voice back?
Yeah, I got it back the next day. I did lose it, but back for this game.
How were the celebrations?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, like something we'll never ever forget. But obviously with a 6-day turnaround, you've got to go back to work, which we did. It was a little bit different the week, just with obviously the celebrations and shorter turnaround. But we're looking forward to going again tonight.
Fair to say, Willie, that there was a bit of pressure on yourself, on your players to bring home that trophy. Now that you have, is there a sense that the monkey's off your back?
I think, look, the first two we didn't deserve to win. I don't think we weren't favourite definitely in the grand final last year or the Challenge Cup. This year we're favourites, especially when Wigan got knocked out. So that brings pressure, obviously, to, but it's only if you bring it on yourself. But if we lost that game, there's no doubt everyone would have been coming for us, the media especially, and rightly so. But we don't have to worry about that now. All we need to worry about is tonight and getting ourselves back on track in the Super League.
Okay, so just on that then, how difficult do you anticipate it to be to put that huge success for yourself, for the players, for the club, to one side now and just refocus?
Yeah, I think it'll say a lot about the team and the club over the next couple of weeks if we do get it right. If we don't get it right, then we need to look at it. But I'm all about process. I'm all about making sure that we get our training right and video sessions and all that sort of stuff. So if we're consistent with that, then more than likely you're going to get a consistent performance. So nothing will change in that way. But it's a privilege to be in a position that we are now. We've come a long way, but the journey's hasn't ended. We want to continue. So that's what we're going to aim to do.
We can't wait to see where this club goes. Willie Peters, good luck tonight.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thank you. We'll bring in your opposite number tonight, interim head coach Joel Tomkins. Joel, just recently the club's owner has said that this is your job to lose, if you like. Is this a job that you want on a permanent basis?
I mean, definitely till the end of the season. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. But Bernard's put some faith in me. I've got the job till the end of the season, and starting with tonight, hopefully we can make some progression, and then at the end of the year we'll see what happens.
I know you've been in charge for a few games now, but is there a bit of a sense that you've had some time now and this might be perhaps your team tonight?
The Challenge Cup week came at a good time for us. We had a good week last week and spent some time together trying to rebuild a bit of cohesion really and connection in the group. I think we did a good job of that. We've had a good week this week, so let's see if it translates onto the field tonight.
Joel, all the very best.
Cheers.
Interim head coach. If you go on the Catalan Dragons website, Steve McNamara is still their head coach. There's been no official announcement from the Dragons about Steve McNamara's departure, which in itself is puzzling and troubling. They're also on course to break a record for the longest minutes in Super League without scoring points. 252 at the moment. Wakefield hold that record of 259. Have we gone back to the bad old days of the Dragons, both on and off the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a low ebb for them. With the investment that they've put into the squad, it's just not acceptable where they sit, and that's why Steve McNamara's not there. I find it baffling that a club website has not been updated. I mean, that's a bad look for so many reasons. Catalan are in the doldrums. It's juxtaposition of them and where Hull KR are right now. That's what's fascinating about tonight, but sport's weird, isn't it? You never know.
Yeah, it is weird. I think that thing that alarms me is they've conceded 120 points in the last 3 games. We're always talking about offence, but ultimately when you come to a place like Hull KR, even if you score 30 against a team who's the best defensive team in the league, by the way, it's not going to matter if you concede 40. So for me, the big task for Joel Tomkins, the big win today, is to go home conceding a lot less points.
Okay, there is a game over in the west side of the city of Hull. If you have been there in the last few years, you will see a banner proudly waved by their fans saying since 1985, the last time Major Silverware came here to their arch rivals. Well, return serve, and they have since Saturday afternoon when they lifted the Challenge Cup for the first time in 45 years. The Robins are back at the top table. Now the focus goes on the Betfred Super League. They top that particular table. They will look to inflict further punishment on the struggling Catalan Dragons here on Sky Sports after this.
Right, it's bedtime. Your Wi-Fi's going off. Sweet.
Manage your kids' time online with EE Wi-Fi controls, helping them to switch off and drift off. Search EE Broadband.
What's it like watching the new Sky Glass TV? Well, with a 4K HDR screen, everything looks so real. You can almost touch it. And with a Dolby Atmos soundbar built in, you really get that surround sound! So yeah, feels like you're right in the middle of it. But telly.
Sky Glass, the TV made by Sky. Believe in better.
Being myself is the boldest thing I can do. My own self, my expressive self. Proud, strong, free. My emotional self. I walk in, they lose control.
Myself, L'Eau de Parfum, and the new Le Parfum, Yves Saint Laurent.
Experience amazing before you arrive. Lexus NX Plug-in Hybrid.
No. I added way too much sugar to my gochujang pasta sauce. What do I do now?
What if we turn your gochujang pasta sauce into some tasty cookies?
Sweet. Tell me how.
Add butter to the sauce.
What's next?
Mix it all together.
Done. Now what?
Bake it for 10 minutes.
Got it.
So good.
Well, aren't things bubbling along nicely in the rugby league capital of the country to the west side of Hull and the MKM Stadium? A win tonight against Castleford would see John Cartwright's men move into 4th on the table. An incredible transformation so far following last year's difficulties. An upset win for the Tigers would give them hope of a better second half to what has been a woeful season so far. Let's swing back here just 5 miles across the city to Sewell Group Craven Park, where another huge crowd queued to get in as soon as the turnstiles opened. The Dragons did a double over Hull KR in 2024, and while the visitors come here in wretched form, Willie Peters may use those results to remind his team of the potential threats about to face them here on Sky Sports.
Fiery affair.
Chip over the top and Keir is chasing that. It is Turner to score.
Big collision goes in.
Lewis with the dummy and another moment of specialness.
Gets it away at their end.
Peter's name will be long remembered in these parts after delivering a first Challenge Cup trophy in 45 years. All week he has been at pains to turn the collective focus now on a Super League campaign that sees them top the table. He has made 4 changes to the heroic Wembley 17. Cup-tied Arthur Morg returns at fullback, with Noah Booth getting just his 3rd Super League start, replacing Joe Burgess. On the other flank is Cup final try scorer Tom Davies, who, like Arthur, is going up tonight against his former club. Well, with Morg's return, Jack Broadbent moves into the centres alongside Peta Hiku. It's been a good week for the halves. Mikey kicks the winning points for the Robins in the final, and 5 days later, Tyrone May announces a 2-year extension to his KR contract that was due to end this year. Rest and recovery for Mickey McAlorum and Jared Warrior-Hargreaves is the order of the day, so Jez Litton is back in a starting role with Dean Hadley moved into the front row alongside him. James Batchelor is back in the pack, perhaps an unsung hero at the National Stadium as he played out of position in the centres with aplomb. Bill Leyland and Aribi Doro now get rare opportunities off the bench to show their importance to a squad intent on a return to Old Trafford and yet more silverware. Well, such are their present-day problems, it's easy to forget the Dragons have been twice at Old Trafford in the last 4 years. Now interim head coach Joel Tompkins must firstly find a way to score some points and then engineer a win that keeps him in touch with the top six. Still no Sam Tompkins, with the veteran's expected return further delayed. That disappointment offset by the availability again of the uplifting Espero Biche at the back. Remus Smith reverts to his favourite centre position, while the microscope is well and truly on what should be a creative hub of the Dragons in the halves. The heft of Julien Busquets returns after missing the last three. The back row is unchanged from the home mauling in round 13, where captain Ben Garcia was arguably Catalan's best. And having missed the last heavy defeats, Bailey Sirenen, Tarek Sims and Tavita Pangai Jr. finds themselves back on the bench and under pressure to snap a run that is damaging their side's hopes of a playoff place. Well, as I said, it's a bumper crowd here, a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. Everything you would expect at Hull KR. Jamie Jones Buchanan and John Wilkin, you've selected a star from each side to shine the spotlight on. John.
Yeah, my star's Artem Morg. Missed out last week because he was cup-tied, playing against his former side here. But let's just have a look at the stats for Hull KR. Top defensive side, only averaging 9 points conceded. Massive favourites to win here, big favourites to get back to Old Trafford. And how important could this man be, Artem Morg? The definition of good coaching is getting the best out of your personnel. Well, I believe under Willie Peters, we're going to see the best out of Artem Morg, whose career at Catalans was faltering slightly. He was one of those players who celebrated as though he'd won the trophy last week. A big performance needed here from him tonight.
Yeah, well, Neil Udgel said that he was a selfless player. He'd be excited about playing against his former club, as will Tom Davis, who left a Tom-sized hole in the Catalan Dragons' right edge, being filled by this guy, my pick, Tommy Makinson, who's playing in a team, John, that's not scored a point or a try for 252 minutes. He's going to need to be back at his acrobatic best if they've got a chance tonight, and he might fancy himself against the young rookie Noah Booth.
Well, they won't be happy with who you've picked to win this one. Both have gone for Hull KR, both have gone for a 16-point margin. They don't feel the Catalan Dragons can throw anything in front of the league leaders. Find out now with us on Sky Sports. Are they right, are they wrong? We'll do it all in the company of Kyler Moore and Dave Woods.
Thank you, Brian. Well, welcome to the land of milk and honey. The Hull Kingston Rovers fun bus went all the way to Wembley, and it's found its way back in a state of sunny delirium. Fireworks heralding the entry, the sirens going off, the wait is over. 45 years, and now they can again celebrate silverware, chanting the name of their side as they take to the field, and they can soak this all up. They've soaked it up all week. There's going to come a point tonight when they have to start concentrating on the match. Of course they do. But just at the moment, they can enjoy these moments with families, with young children out there as well. And they line up, and we await Catalan to make their emergence from the smoke as well. In fact, they're out. I missed them. They're out. They're standing in position and waiting for the kickoff. So they've got business on their mind. But just for the moment, the photographs are being taken. And a big smile for the coach, who's led the side to 3 finals and now has a win under his belt, and I'm sure is concentrating on not just one, maybe 2, and maybe 3 this season. Top of the table at the moment, will be 4 points clear with a win here tonight. Elliot Minchella, their captain, ready for the off as well. And here we go. Little respect. Young and old. is the go-to karaoke number in these parts, isn't it? But it is back to business for Hull Kingston Rovers tonight. It is back to form, the demand on the Dragons. They need to reignite their top 6 hopes. And they've got to do it against a side who are in their pomp. Tom Grant, referee tonight, Jack Smith, video referee, and Kyle Amor alongside us. Is there a Wembley hangover to be had here tonight?
No, I don't think so tonight, David. Good evening to you and everyone at home as well. A homecoming celebration, no doubt about it. This place is absolutely rocking. But for the Dragons, they're in trouble. The form has dropped off a cliff. Confidence is shot, and they need to fast fix it up. A difficult challenge ahead of them here.
Well, they're having the ball in hand in the early stages. Ollie Partington finds his way no further than the 35-metre mark on tackle 5. So Theo Fage is entrusted to kick downfield. And Hull Kingston Rovers, with a former Dragon in the shape of Artur Morg, bringing that ball back again. Did you see an intensity in that Hull Kingston Rovers defence that you would have expected?
Yeah, for sure. You know, the carries like this on a backfield. Noah Booth getting his 3rd appearance this season. You know, they're going to have to do it for 80 minutes. Now, I'm not expecting this performance from KR to be completely polished, Dave, but I do think they've got enough here tonight.
Well, while they've been celebrating and winning and all that, Catalan have had 2 weeks off, and maybe, as their interim coach Joel Tompkins was saying, a chance to reset, but they have given a penalty away here. Luke Keary in the midst of all that, and it'll give Hull Kingston Rovers a chance to start their next set very, very deep inside that Catalan half.
There was a direct carry there from Peter Hiku. And the play of the ball was too slow, and they're going to cross into the 20-metre zone of the away side, moving the ball to the left. Lewis out the back. Here we go, Dave.
They are quick starters, as you can see, and true to form, Broadbent gets an offload away. It's fumbled in difficult circumstances by Booth, but Catalan have a chance to congratulate themselves on a good piece of desperate defending at the end here.
Yeah, moving the ball well out to this left edge. Jack Broadbent just gets around Leguer. Not too easy at this stage of the game. He just can't do enough there to beat Kotrick and a spiral B shape. He makes a solid tackle. The ball goes spilling out.
Well, that just does point to a real good attitude amongst those Catalan players. Getting across there in numbers. As we've been saying before, it's been a woeful last few weeks. On the back of 5 defeats on the bounce, and haven't scored a single point in their last 3 games. And there is a watershed mark to be passed, as you might have heard, in the build-up tonight. And we'll keep you in touch with that. It's not a record Catalan would want to have, but they'll be putting that at the back of their minds just for the moment as they bring the ball clear again.
Again, some solid defence from the home team. 3 numbers in. And Kotrick normally breaks a few tackles. He can't break any there. Julian Busquet missing the last 2. His size and punch is timely for Joel Tompkins.
255 minutes, as you saw there, since they last scored, and if they go another 4 minutes without scoring, then they become the worst offensive team in Super League history in terms of going between points. Keely gets a kick away from inside the 40, but always going to be Artur Morg's catch and carry. And Hull Kingston Rovers starting from there. So slow, it's very, 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 very slow. Impatience from the crowd. Davis stepping forward, evading the first would-be defender, but finding 2 more, 3 more who are intact with their intent. As it's taken towards that halfway line. Little point of the finger from Jez Litton, directing where he's expecting Soasu Su to run, and that's where he does run. Taking Hull Kingston Rovers again inside Catalan territory. It's with Mikey Lewis, and the short pass for Whitbread, but he's lost possession. Lost possession. And again, a congratulation amongst those Catalan defenders for doing the job they wanted to do here.
Yeah, it was a solid tackle from Matty Leguer. Has to put his body in front there. On the back row at Jai Whitbread.
Be quicker filling this scrum up, Carl, yeah, be quicker.
Doesn't seem that long since Catalan were celebrating their own Wembley success, does it? 7 years ago now, when they also beat Warrington. at Wembley, and everybody wondered where it was going to go from there. Well, they had some success in grand finals, just part of that wonderful Steve McNamara legacy that he has left at the club, but now no longer there, and Sam Tomkins looking on as well. His brother Joel in charge at the moment. For how long, we'll wait and see. End of the season at least, we're told. But struggling at the moment to make some yardage downfield. Here's Da Costa, trying to feed them all again, and Sate, familiar with this city, of course, but the other side, up and plays. Da Costa now. He'll step back on the inside from Partington, but running into company, unwanted company in the shape of Hull Kingston Rovers defenders. Da Costa springing out, Keary looking left. There's a bit of movement out there. Remus Smith, who has been their most prolific scorer so far, but just the 6 tries to his name this season. Keary gets the kick high. Where's this coming down? Well, it's taken well enough by Kotric, but he spilt it backwards. Laguerre can only keep hold of possession. The touch judge is on the field. The ball has gone to ground. Hull Kingston Rovers get it back again.
Yeah, Kotric just out jumping his opposite number there, Noah Booth. The ball goes backwards. Mikey Lewis straight onto Laguerre. It's took the away side, 6 minutes in order to get a play of the ball inside of Hull KR's half. In the end, the set, pretty ordinary.
Let's go down to Jenna. Jenna, what have you got for us on the sidelines?
As we know, it is such a party mood here, isn't it? They're all celebrating winning that Challenge Cup. I can tell you that there are 11,350 supporters here, all of which are Hull KR fans. That 800-seater in the corner there, usually reserved for away fans, has been allocated to the Robins supporters. So this tonight, Dave, is the biggest Robins supporters ever at this stadium.
Thank you, Jenna. Intriguingly, ball's out of play. It's going to be Catalan to get it back here. Intriguingly, I did see a coach pulling up earlier, and there were about 5 or 6 dressed in Catalan colours who got off. The coach was from the Wigan St Helens area, so I'm not sure what that was all about. But they are here tonight to lend support to the Dragons, but are going to be mightily out-cheered, as you heard from Jenna. Game just settles down again, but Catalan now coming from deep, trying to spring their way away from what is a dangerous area if they have to give the ball up soon. No mistakes here. Makinson spinning in, coming from that right-hand side. He's been switched from left to right for this game tonight. Kotric the other way. Here's Da Costa. Busquets. In and down. Well, not down. Not down. Refuses to go down. Plays the ball. Da Costa comes out again. Oh, the pass is very poor. Farge keeps it alive, and away it comes though to Laguerre, and Laguerre has suddenly got Kotric running free on this right flank, and Kotric, surrounded by defenders, brushes off the first couple of attempts, but then is pinned by the efforts of Whitbread. And Catalan are moving closer here, looking for those rare points that have evaded them. Now it's with Partington. Wants to get up and play this. Da Costa now comes right. Farge with a kick high. Down it comes. Little hand on it from Laguerre. The ball's out of play, and this will be Hull Kingston Rovers who get it back. So we've passed that watershed, by the way. It is now, what is it, 260 minutes since Catalan last scored, and that is officially the worst record in Super League. Wakefield had it previously, a couple of years ago when they got relegated, but that is, I mean, that reflects a desperation, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know, those last 3 results, of course, against Hull, Wigan and Saints, not registering a single score. And some heavy losses in there as well. And I'm sure that Joel Tomkins over the next, well, this game and over the next coming weeks will need to make sure that his side can register points on the field and be in a contest.
And I promise you, that'll be the last time we mention that until they score, honestly.
Oh,
the ball goes
here.
wide to Davis, and he's got a bit of working out to do because it went behind him. It goes up there at dummy half, so just a little fractured at the moment, the Robins. This is Batchelor, just bashing it in. Snared by 2, pushed back a yard or 2. Flicked back to Lewis. He just puts big boot, that's a big boot on that one as well, but taken safely enough. Spiro Boucher, what an excited player he is as well. We saw some of his talent, didn't we, at Magic Weekend when he scored a will-o'-the-wisp type of try.
Only 19-year-old as well, Dave. Put yourself in the right place for that kick from Lewis. Here's Kotrick once more, terrific upper body strength. You just see he's getting rid of 2 and 3 before Dean Hadley and Whitbread in there to stop that play.
He's looked a good sign. Another set of 6 here for Catalan. The referee just resets the start again. So they've got position here of Catalan. A little bit to work with. What can they make of it? Kiri. Bring it back again. Partington's going to help it on his way. Busquets now tries to straighten up and thread himself between a couple of defenders that advance. Da Costa switching it left, and Satai. Big man, big power, but 3 of them.
Well, growing into this contest in the last couple of minutes of the Dragons edging closer towards the line here.
He puts it back again, and well, they're looking for quick hands, and it is got away to Kotrick from Garcia, but Hawkinston Rovers recover, and Garcia using all the instincts that he has, running out of that position, fancies he's got over the line here. Well, he's being celebrated and congratulated by teammates, but
we have no try held up.
No try on the field. Let's hear from the video referee on this one.
It's tackle 4, we've got no try, we're just checking grounding of the ball. Garcia's in possession, going towards the line. Can't see where the ball is on that. Check one from the other side. See if you can see the ball on this. Yeah, let's run it through. Get sight when the ball comes into shot. And we can't see the ball at any point here. Keep going, see if it comes into shot. The ball's there, always appears to be up in Broadbent's arms. Have we got any other angles that are showing us any of the ball? Camera 3, please. Yeah, let's see this one if we can see the ball all the way. Broadbent's got it wrapped up. They got it wrapped up. Ball is still wrapped up. And can we just check the far corner angle just to confirm it stays up all the way? Just finish on camera 9 just to make sure that that ball stays up. We can see the ball all the way. Yeah, let's go on this angle. Going into Broadbent. The ball's in his right arm. And it appears wrapped up by Broadbent. Thank you, I've made my decision.
Well, you can't make a call if you can't see the ball, can you? And the video referee going on what the on-field referee sent up as a no try, so it is not going to be that first points for Catalan. Garcia held up, but they get another go here. Do they? Is it, or is it a handover?
I think they get...
Yeah, they get another go here.
What a tackle that was as well from Jack Broadbent. Just when you thought Garcia had pinched something down the short side, it's tackle 5.
This is the last. It's going to be kicked by Theo Farge, aiming for that post to make it complicated, but Morg simplifies the issue by leaping high and collecting well. And staying in the field of play as well. That was good fullback play, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was from the Frenchman. That one looked a bit high.
Yeah, I was thinking the referee was going to give a penalty as well.
Yeah,
then.
difficult carries here. Petr Hiku now trying to take over. That's 3 players gone, Dave, and they've only made about 5 metres.
Well, Catalan again are doing a job here, aren't they? They're playing with spirit. They're playing with a little bit of collectiveness. They're playing without the ball, and here comes Mikey Lewis, and a desperate tackle from Busquets, of all people. The prop forward got back there. Had he not intervened there, that could have been finishing with a wink and a kiss to the crowd from Mikey Lewis. As it is, Hulkingston Rovers still on the halfway line with Hadley. This is Litton. And Lewis again. Getting the kick. He was caught in mid-air.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Yeah. No nasty intent from Partington, but he did catch him in mid-air after he kicked the ball.
Yeah, the ball was kicked. And you just see here, as soon as it leaves the left boot of Lewis, he's up in the air, and Partington just can't resist. And just when you thought that Catalan were getting into this contest, they allow Sauaso Su's offload. A couple of players later, they give a penalty away and invite Hull KR down to this end of the field.
Well, do they accept this invitation? That's the question. Here's Hadley carrying to within 20, within 18. Crowd's beginning to find its voice again. Litton looking to that right-hand side. Morg's involved. Little double pump from him. He'll be seeking glory tonight. Would love to score against his former club. They go back to Minchella. Reach by May. There's an advancement there in the centres from Laguerre that blocked the passage left, but they almost find a way through the middle. Hadley down, Litton up. Little dummy from him as well. Da Costa hangs on to his opposite number. Still tackles in the back here. Really banging at the door. May, Hiku, joining in is the full-back Morg, and Davis will finish in the corner. Lovely stuff. They simply got numbers over there, but have they scored the try? Whoa, hang on.
Try and field. Just check touch, please.
Checking the touchline is the order, so let's hear again from Jack Smith, but it's gone up as a try.
Tackle for try. We're just checking the touchline, please. Tom Davis is in the field. Both feet still in field. Still in field. Grass. Keep following it through to the ball grounded. And the ball's grounded. I made my decision.
Well, touch judges there, referee was there, they wanted to make sure, absolutely, and it is going to be given as the first try of the night. And Hulkington Rovers do have the start they wanted. Davis, it's a dozen for him in all competitions this year. His 12th try of 2025, and Hull KR have the lead.
Yeah, Tom Davis, cup clincher last week, and he gets the party started here tonight. There was so much to like about that build-up. The delayed ball from Peter Hiku. Goodness me, it was straight out of the top draw. It was the penalty that was given away first of all. Only Partington gives him that field position. And aside, in the groove, but just look at the delayed ball there. Out to Artyom Morg, who pops up out of nowhere. And it's a simple catch and pass, but he holds that ball, promotes it. And Tom Davis slides over 4-0.
Well, it was guess who for the Catalan defence, wasn't it? Coming in numbers, intelligent stuff. Not quite the drama of the last try he scored in the rain at Wembley, but he'll take that one again. And back on kicking duty is Artyom Morg. Mikey Lewis will no doubt remind him that he landed one from that touchline last week, so Morg's under pressure to do the same, and he has done just that. And Hulkington Rovers, looking to go 4 points clear at the top tonight, lead this game by 6 points to 0.
Oh, my word, how Catalan Dragons would have liked to have Tom Davis and Artyom Morg back in their colours. It was them two that combined, and them two that registered the points. Tom Davis's try, Artyom Morg's conversion. It's 6-0.
So we start again. Lewis with a catch, and Sue, whose name echoes around the Sewell Group Craven Park, with that initial carry. Catalan desperately trying to keep Hull KR down here now, aren't they? Really need to step up in defence, and that is the last thing they needed. Penalty given against them.
Yeah, you just saw the last set there, the offload that's allowed, and that's a bit of a switch off in terms of your contact and your wrestle, the penalty given away. And then Jez Litton spots that the markers aren't quite set, gets around the corner on Sata, and he gives a penalty away. Partington in there too. But just look at where the ball is now, Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say, look where the ball, where the penalty was given and where the kick was taken from. I think Mikey Lewis got about 10 yards extra downfield there, but it's all part of his character, isn't it? It's all part of his craft. But Hulkington Rovers in prime position. Here comes Sue on carry 2. 20 away. Litton lining up a dummy half. Here's Minchella, the arrowhead of this attack. Hiku now spinning in. 3 to go in this set. Jez Litton again. Minchella. It's Lewis, dummy, and almost tricking, but Busquet again is there to do the job. He's made some important tackles already tonight on Mikey Lewis. Minchella flat, Hadley comes in at pace, almost bursting the seams. Litton dances out. May again, the numbers, guessing again, the Catalan defence, and they fail to detect the threat from Batchelor this time. That right-hand side is ripping holes in Catalan's defensive line. Batchelor's over, and in a blink of an eye, Holkington Rovers have a double-figured lead.
Yeah, it's what the best sides do. Hit you with back-to-back tries, and it's Batchelor, his 4th try of season 2025. But that whole set, Dave, from the minute the penalty was given away, every single play just seemed much quicker than the way the defence was moving. OKR's attack was in free flow, running red hot, and that is just a simple score for Batchelor. A gaping hole. And the Dragons are staring down the barrel of a gun of another defeat, even though it's so early in this contest.
What is going wrong with that Catalan defence? Because that's twice now they've been simply outnumbered on that side.
Well, they just can't cope with the mistakes defensively, giving away penalties. That's how the points have come, Dave. Penalties have led to tries. And if you're going to be a team that's going to push the boundaries and give away those, you have to be tough enough, physically, mentally, to cope. And they can't do it at the moment.
Well, there is an East Hull legend, Steve McNamara. West Hull as a player, of course, but former Catalan coach until very recently. Here watching his former charges, no doubt making notes about what's going wrong, but Moore has put over a second for the night. And 12 points to nil, Hull KR lead.
Yeah, it's been a blistering 10 minutes for the home team. Actually delighted to score. Played in the centres last week, a special mention to him and Dean Hadley. You cannot undersell their worth in this side.
12-0. And already, with 90 minutes played, a real test of Catalan's mentality from this point on. How do they respond? Because, boy, do they need to. Sue. Here's Litton. Hadley, again athletic and willing as he takes it in. Litton. Hiku helping himself to that carry as well. You can see the other game across the city tonight. Hull FC 6, Castleford 6. Wow, if Cass can win that, suddenly they just reignite their top 6 hopes potentially, having been written off in the first half of the season. Kick away from Litton. Espero Bichet underneath with a catch and brings it back.
Just look at the chase, Dave. And this is a side that's got excuses there ready for them and can be forgiven after the 40-year wait of a major trophy was over. But they're chasing, they're moving as if last week was just ordinary for them.
Well, let's go to Jenna Brooks, who's got, I think, a bit of insight into what's happening at Catalan at the moment. Jenna.
Yeah, I certainly do. I'm alongside Sam Tompkins, who, in fact, isn't playing tonight, running the water. Sam, it was a positive start for the Dragons. How do they respond now, though?
Yeah, we just can't afford exactly what we've just seen there, error. We've given 2 penalties. Oh, we've got away with 1. We've given 2 penalties away, and you know, against the old KR side that are full of energy, we're gonna struggle. So I think if we can clean up our discipline, it's really physical, but it seems like it's 50-50 on the physicality.
Thanks, Sam.
Was in the 21 at this week, Sam Tompkins, so hopefully not long before he's back. Oh, this is inventive. Laguerre trying to make things happen, but in the end it doesn't fall the way he wanted to, and May advancing 2 defenders his way and just popping it over the top for Davies to suddenly find a route through, and there's space, there's daylight here, and he skips past another, and he has support, and Morg now gallops on, rolls it back, May picks it up, Revis Smith can't nail him. Where should I go? Who should I pass to? What happens next? The ball away to Hadley, and Hadley, for all that sidestepping, just went right at the man in front of him. Physical first, but Holkington Rovers in fine position again. Hiku trying to hold off the attentions, keeping it away, keeping it going. May, hop, skip and a jump. If he missed it, he's signed on again, hasn't he, for next year? Tyrone May, big news coming out of Holkington Rovers this week. Jenna told us all about that before the match. Ninchella and Sue trying to slide in and pushes away, and Sue, prop forwards are not supposed to score tries out there, but he sidestepped one, he pushed off another, and then he put the foot to the pedal and dived over, and boy is that a very, very popular try. He doesn't score many, only his second in 2025. It's barely a smile. There we go. Bit of congratulations to himself now.
Oh, there's so much to look at here. Stunning. Absolutely stunning, Dave. The whole build-up. The Dragons were chasing shadows. Physically, not there. But the footwork there from the big front rower. Don't you just love to see that? Sauaso Su just gets rid of Maria. Far too easy. But then the in and away to Rounders Biro-Bichet. Oh, stop it.
I once saw you sidestep like that.
You didn't.
I think you fell over. What a step from the big fella, eh? Have a look at this. Throws one off. What about this? Oh, prop forwards union's going to be ringing up, aren't they?
Right foot, left foot. His first try on home soil, Dave. And he gives it the big Sui.
Coach enjoys it. Well, just at the moment, they've every reason to just feel very comfortable about this whole situation, Hull Kingston Rovers. It is up to Catalan now to make it a bit more difficult. But at the moment, Hull Kingston Rovers having it all their own way. Morg, simplest kick of the night. 18 points to 0. 22 minutes played. Unless Catalan fix it quickly, this could be a horrible night for them.
It certainly could. I mentioned just right at the start of the game, you know, their form fallen off a cliff. Confident shot. The evidence is all there inside the opening 23 minutes. They are absolutely miles off at the minute.
Jenna Brooks on the touchline. Jenna.
Yeah, Dave, I've got news on Tariq Sims. He lasted about 2 minutes out there. He's injured his calf. He went straight down the tunnel. He won't be back tonight.
Oh,
here's a mistake.
Well, it rains, it pours, but here's an opportunity.
See straight away there, Tariq Sims. Sauaso Su, the try scorer, down on the floor at the moment.
Maybe this is a late reaction to his sidestep. A shock. Suddenly realised what he'd done. In all seriousness, we do hope he's okay. I'm sure he will be.
It looks like Kalepi Tanganoa. He's just waiting on the sideline. You'd imagine Sauaso Su will make way. A quality replacement there, Tanganoa. What a season he's having.
It's head. Physio's just pointed to his head, so this is going to be an HIA, isn't it?
But this will be the best attacking position that the Dragons have had.
There you go.
Oh, well, my word, it might be another penalty here and a little bit more. I didn't pick that up live, but that shot from behind, Dave, doesn't look pretty.
No.
For Frank Maria.
Well, they've given it as a knock-on, but I think it's going to be reversed with a little bit of extra spin on it here. Let's hear from the referee.
Yeah, mate. It doesn't make high level force, which means it's a sin bin.
There's a car. It's a sin bin. Yeah. It's a sin bin. Off he goes. Frank Maria, Catalan down to 12. Already lost Tariq Sims to injury. Now they're another player down, Frank Maria, because of the sin binning. And Hull Kingston Rovers, instead of defending their line, suddenly have a penalty to clear it.
And once again, I count that as the 4th penalty. And all particularly down that end of the field as well. And just look at the distance once again on that kick. The Robins are straight into the territory. And here comes Tanganoa. Well met there by Laguerre.
All that freshness, all that energy just exerted as he hit the line. Laguerre doing well. May. And now Whitbread. Litton scampers across there. Minchella's waiting in the middle. Sees a bit of a gap and he tries to run at it, but it closes and he sidesteps into the arms of Romano. Litton. Whitbread, all that look forward. Batchelor. 2 to go. Minchella again. May has drifted across there, and Tanganoa almost finding a route through. And Litton picks up from dummy half. Fancies they might be half asleep. The kick's not a bad one, but there is a recovery there. Espiro Biche just drops on that in desperate necessity. Otherwise, his side were conceding again, and they might do that because the ball sprung loose.
Yeah, Laguerre spills the ball. I was just going to praise Lytton for where they finished that set. The 6 again here, it's warming up this.
It is. Minchella had a swing there. Partington was a man opposite. Here we go. Here we go. And there are, I think it's Garcia in the middle of this. And he has thrown a punch. He's absolutely thrown a punch.
Well, he's lost the plot, Dave.
Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes.
That's the captain, Benny Garcia. Absolutely lost the plot. And this just paints the picture of where the Dragons are at the moment. They're shot to pieces. They're falling apart.
Apologies if you picked up any language there in the middle of that. But it is getting heated. Well, you rather suspect there's another card coming out here.
Well, it looks like a red.
Can you help me out? Can you put him on the goal line? Luke? Can you help me out?
There we go. That's where it starts. Partington has a throw. And then have a look at the number 9 here. Ben Garcia comes in.
Goal line, please, mate.
It's a push, and boom. Boom.
Well, it's not quite a full fist, is it, Dave? But it's enough to spark.
Yeah.
I thought it was...
Yeah, his fist is closed. It's a red card. There's no doubts about this. There's absolutely no doubts about this.
Yeah. I thought it was an open hand on the first replay, but he might have a number of weeks off as well here. Yeah, no, he's gone.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah.
Absolutely silly from Benny Garcia.
And the eyes gave it away. We saw after that, he just looked like there was a moment of madness had just descended upon him.
And the red mist certainly came over.
We've got players running in as well from
Players running in, we heard from the referee. Refs don't necessarily enjoy that kind of activity, so there might be more than one card. There's the melee.
Just the first punch. The second punch is probably worse, Dave, from those pitches. That one.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, the fist is clearly closed. I mean, he missed. He missed, but that wasn't his intent, was it? He didn't intend to miss.
Well, Mikey Lewis can breathe a sigh of relief, because if that catches him...
Speak to both captains about running in.
Well, I'm sure he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
I've already spoken to Ben Garcia twice in this half alone. So, okay. Ben.
Card, here it comes.
He's throwing punches, Ben.
You're throwing punches.
Look out.
There's only one outcome. Not in 2025 can you throw a punch and get away with it. He knew from the moment, he knew from the very moment he threw that his game was over.
Luke, come here, please.
There might be more to come here. But Catalan down to 11 for the moment.
I think this will just be Tom Grant having a word with them to calm it all down now.
So if you don't mind, mate, as vice captain, I'm going to speak to you because Elliot's involved in that directly, okay? So we have a push from Minchella, which then sparks a reaction, and Ben Garcia throws 2 punches. That doesn't require that reaction. Yeah, that causes all that out. And then we have players from both teams running in. We've already had a red card. We don't need any more, do we? Can you speak to your players and calm down?
I'll speak to you, but you've got to come in if someone gets punched.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we don't need players running in previous. The penalty's going to go to OKR. No.
Penalty, OKR as well. And not a great look. Not a great look for Luke Keary's team.
No. Well, they're down to 11.
There he goes. He's gone for the night. And as you say, such a proud captain of Catalan, you suspect that has just been a building frustration for Ben Garcia. The way it's been going in recent weeks, the way it's been going tonight. But he's cost his side an awful lot here. Because already trailing by 18 points to 0. They're one man down for the rest of the game, two men down for the next few minutes because, of course, of the sin bidding to Maria. And you'd back Hulkington Rovers to strike again here. Morg swings it away. May just looking for a route, surrounded at the moment. Ooh, well, very nearly if he'd have played that would have been a voluntary tackle. It very nearly was. Picked up by Lytton. Back comes Whitbread with a push. Still got a couple of plays. Lytton, swing it left. Tanginoa! Nobody can hold him. Not well enough. Tanginoa plunges over. This could be any number of points tonight, because that's 22-0 with 12 minutes of the half remaining, and a Catalan team that is simply unravelling.
You would almost say that season 2025 for the Dragons is all but done. This performance tonight has been far from anything that's needed. Theo Flage there, he'll be disappointed with this. A one-on-one, big man on small man. Partington tries his best, and Bichet, if he had his time again, he'd love to get under that ball a little bit more. To take nothing away from Kelepi Tanginoa. His fourth try of the season. And is that the one, Dave, that really just puts the nail in the coffin tonight?
He treated Theo Flage disdainfully there, didn't he? It was almost a kind of, yeah, do your best, son, but I'm going over the top of you.
Everything they've done this evening has just been more direct, quicker. They're winning the floor each and every time they're carrying the ball, Dave. Having said that, the discipline from the Dragons has been nothing shy but woeful.
Kept going up and up and up. 86% success probability here for Artemor, who might be suffering a little bit because he's got mates on the other side. Puts that to one side tonight, but he won't be over-enjoying it from that point of view. But he'll be happy with the dressing room he's in, although he's not happy with that kick. So 22-0. Tanginoa the latest.
And this was just a simple score. Direct carry against some ordinary defence. And Sam Tompkins is giving these guys an absolute roasting at the minute, challenging them. Have a little bit more pride in terms of what they're doing with the work.
Well, they'd be wishing he's more than just a water carrier tonight, because he has an influence when he's on there, doesn't he? Undoubtedly.
Yeah, but I don't think even him could have stopped what was coming.
Spiro Bichet with the restart. And back come the Robins, full of intent and full of points so far tonight. That's what's coming up over the weekend, by the way. Plenty of Super League and NRL stuff. A couple of games tomorrow. Huddersfield, Wigan. And Leeds against Warrington at 5 o'clock. That's a fascinating fixture, isn't it? Lewis plays, Lytton picks up, carries on. A special game as well on Sunday, Wakefield against Lee. Daryl Powell's grandson is poorly at the moment, and the charity that's helping look after him and the family being celebrated on the Sunday as well, so check in for that one. This is Lewis with a kick away. Just a wobbly ball, puts it high. Spiro Bichet with a catch. It's special as well, Sir Billy Boston, knighted this week at 90 years of age. And you can see that if you look at the archive stuff on Sky Sports, you can pick up that special on Billy Boston as well. 3 minutes before he comes back. Makinson. This is Pangai Jr. and a little flick away. 2 tackles later from Partington. Untidy. Another set here. Referee, I think, thought it was Hull KR's ball and decided it was Catalan who got it, and there's nobody there at the play the ball.
Yeah, Partington's offload hits a Hull KR player. He bounces off them. I think Theo Flage reacts first. There's 6 more here. Pangai Jr.
Heavy carry from him. 8.5 minutes of the first half remaining. Three games scoreless for Catalan. It's going to be 3.5 unless they can make something happen in this next 8 minutes or so. There's Farge. Putting it back to Kiri. Looking left. Oh, handling's terrible from Espero Bisha. Trying to twist and offload.
Yeah, he just didn't look confident at all with Peteku in his eye line. Spills the ball.
Matchula.
But just look, Dave, how each of these Hull KR players are spinning out, finding the front, a man left on the floor, they take off again.
Or May using the centre there as a foil, and now Davis again has got a path to try and pick, and desperate late tackle.
It's going to be a penalty here for sure.
Another set.
And 6 again then.
It's as good as, isn't it? Lytton. Defenders coming out of the line, offering a temptation for Lytton to have a run. Lytton collects, left to Mikey Lewis. Little ball over the top, and gathered in superbly well by Moore, and on the outside, ball back in for Broadbent to finish. It was Noah Booth on the wing, who made a bit of magic happen there. Broadbent finishes.
Just check touch, please.
Referee needs absolute certainty, so sends it upstairs again.
Tackle 1, try. We're just checking touch, please. It's going to be Noah Booth's leg. Just have our behind angle to make sure that it is up, please. Get on this. Yeah, run this through, please. And that boot is up. We'll check camera 3. Might give us a little bit more. Just confirm it. Yeah, this one might give us what we want. Just run this through. Really slow now. Foot is up. Ball has already gone at this point. Broadbent's caught it clean, and we'll go into the grounding, please. And the ball's grounded. I've made my decision.
Well, the try given, Broadbent the scorer, but Noah Booth, hats off to the young winger for the part he played in that. Super stuff, keeping his balance, keeping that ball alive, keeping the try-scoring opportunity at a premium level, and another Hull KR try, 26 points to 0.
And there's 2 parts to that, Dave, wasn't there? First of all, the ball from Mikey Lewis. Beautifully weighted, lofted over the top. And the take in there from Noah Booth, champagne stuff. And that offload with the sideline beckoning, manages to stay in the field of play. And Jack Broadbent collects his 7th try in 13 appearances this season for the Robins. Wonderful stuff there from the young winger.
And from the touchline, Morg looking to swing this one in, but has put it wide. 26 points to 0 it remains. 33 minutes play.
Yeah, 2 costly cards for Maria and Ben Garcia. The 2 quick tries being scored in that time frame. 26-0. And the horror series goes on for the Dragons.
So he's back, so they have 12 players back, but of course that's as good as it gets in terms of personnel numbers. Ryan Sheridan and Joel Tompkins looking down, wondering, how do you fix this? How do you fix this? Spiro Bichet with a start, and here comes Hadley on the charge. How do you fix this, Kyle? Or is it unfixable tonight?
I think it's unfixable tonight. I think there's an awful lot of work to do, because if you look back at those results over the last month, you could compare them to some of the losses that Salford have had, and we know fine well what sort of dire straits that club's been in, but this side has got much more on paper out there, and they just can't cope. Look at this, it's embarrassing, it's disgusting.
Well, that's a wonderful run. And they're going again here, Hulkingston Rovers. Tyrone May looking left, thought about the big one over the top, and then just spoons it out to Lytton. And Catalan's defenders are running in quickly.
This is on the players, Dave, here. It's them that are out there.
Hadley, May,
oh my goodness
as
me.
Easy as that. It felt like all he had to do was catch the ball and carry on running. I'm sure there was more to it than that. But it is a second on the night for James Batchelor. 30 points in a first half that has been a carousel for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Well, some of these players, Dave, in the Dragon shirt, they need a long, hard look at themselves, because that's just another simple score. You have to be willing to move, willing to compete, and they're just doing none of it at the moment. They look so flat, so disconnected. But take nothing away from Batchelor, who bags a brace. A wonderful line there from the right edge bat rower.
£30-0. A little closer on the other side of the city tonight, but surprising scoreline at the moment. 12-6, Castleford leading.
Well, a win there could put them 2 points behind the Dragons as they begin to launch into the second half of the season.
Bit more talking to, you might have picked up the referee in the background, because after that try was scoring again, there was a little bit of fraying of tempers. So the referee talking to the fourth official here, the video referee, just explaining that there's going to be some more talking to for Catalan's players. Here's Morg, and he's kicked it. He's kicked it. 32 points to 0.
It must be brilliant to be a Hull KR fan in this moment.
Referee's having to go overlook Kiri here. So he's speaking to him as the captain, control your players. He's going to have a word with Hull Kingston Rovers as well. It's such a one-sided game. There's been some bad tempers here tonight, haven't there? Kicked away by Espiro Boucher. Hull Kingston Rovers coming back again. What a first half this has been from their point of view.
Yeah, obviously, look, you know, I've laid heavily into the Dragons because of the scoreline, and their level of performance has just been so poor. But Hull KR have won every collision, every contact. They've played with the right intent and pace to this game.
This is going to be their 9th win in a row. Over the last 11 months, they've only lost to Wigan. The last time they lost to a team that wasn't Wigan was this Catalan side last July. Kick over the top. Oh, that's a half-hearted attempt, and it leads to that. It deserved to lead to that. That's a terrible, terrible attempt to clear the ball. And Mikey Lewis, with the help of a couple of teammates, pounces on that. 36 points to 0. Well, Hull Kingston Rovers are waving their winners' flags. I think Catalan are waving a white flag at the moment. Dreadful from the French side, but Rovers continue to prosper.
It's difficult for words to say, really. Espiro Boucher, you have to be better than this, son. He gambles it to try and touch it with his foot. Be brave, get on the ball. OKR's left edge chasing, 4 shirts to 1. Just look at how many shirts are in the frame here, Dave. Coaches often talk, you create and make your own look. But as soon as that ball there, 1, 2, 3, 4 shirts in the picture. And Mikey Lewis, he won't score an easier try than that this evening. A wonderful kick. And it's not just a jog, it's a sprint down there. And it pays dividends for them.
Well, as we said earlier, this could be anything. Yeah, blow of the lips. A coach who wonders what's going on here.
Well, I wouldn't like to be in that changing room.
Morg sticks it over. 38 points to 0. They're going to finish this first half at scoring at very nearly a point a minute. It has been word perfect from Hull Kingston Rovers so far tonight. It's just been clumsy, awful, lacklustre, ragged. Every adjective you can think of. From Catalan's point of view, the hooter sounds. And Mikey Lewis running off at half-time as a try scorer. His fans have enjoyed that. The Hull Kingston Rovers fans continue the party. But what is going on with them? A bedraggled bunch who leave at half-time, who simply have to be better in the second half. But it is Hull Kingston Rovers' night so far. They lead by 38 points to 0.
Thank you very much, Dave, Kyle. Well, they walk off here, the Challenge Cup champions, the side that went to Wembley last week and lifted the trophy for the first time in 45 years. Their eyes are back on their Super League campaign. The Catalan Dragons have capitulated in front of them. A red card, an absolute dismal display from the visitors. We will discuss in depth with Jamie Jones-Buchanan and John Wilkin after this.
Listen up, we're BetMGM Casino, and when it comes to Vegas, no one's as Vegas as us. We got over 3,000 games like Big Bass Splash and our exclusive BetMGM Joker Cash Spree. Play live from the MGM Grand and Bellagio. It's Vegas, baby, right here in your pocket. BetMGM, it's showtime!
Why do we talk about freedom like it's one thing? Freedom is many things. It's a cool breeze on salty skin. It's racing the sun down a road with no name. It won't arrive on time or do as it's told. You'll just take a deep breath and suddenly realise, I am free. O2's the only major network that lets everyone roam freely in the EU, up to 25 gig.
Football, it's proper drama. And predicting the unpredictable really is a funny old game. So William Hill gives you a daily ACCA winnings boost to reward getting it right. That's proper value from a proper bookmaker. William Hill, betting done properly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Britain hasn't been so great of late because the country hasn't been eating enough Weetabix.
It makes sense. I've been eating croissants.
To whoever's in charge of fixing potholes, VAR, and drivers who park like this, we must say, have you had your Weetabix?
So here we go, game faces are on. Never seen anything like this at this level.
We've got 3 live NRL games for you on Sky Sports this weekend. We'll all start with the Knights Roosters, 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, and that's followed by the Cowboys against the Dolphins at 10:35. Both of those on Sky Sports Plus. We're on action and main event on Sunday for the South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Canterbury Bulldogs. The State of Origin series for 2025 is on the line from Perth on Wednesday. Join us from 10 a.m. on Sky Sports Action and Sky Sports Main Event. The Blues lead 1-0 going into Game 2. Well, let's go to the west side of the city of Hull, the MKM Stadium. The home side were hosting the Castleford Tigers, and it was Castleford that scored first through Innes Senior. Harvey Barron pulled one back for Hull FC. They're locked up at 6 points apiece, and then this happened with 22 minutes on the clock. Innes' brother Lewis getting in the end of this to score and give Castleford a 12-6 half-time lead. That'll be good news for Hull KR fans who have packed in here to Sewell Group Craven Park and seen their side absolutely rip the Catalan Dragons apart. 38-0 at half-time. 3 tries to kick it all off with. John. Take it away.
Yeah, and it came through ill-discipline from Catalan. Were in the game until this penalty. And ill-discipline has been the nature of the half for Catalan Dragons. Hitting Mikey Lewis late off the floor, and that was the start of the end for Catalan Dragons, their contribution to this half. It's great hands from Hiku to set up Davis in the corner. It was 6-0 to Hull KR. Great kick off the sideline. Batchelor runs a great line. Story of the half again. It's just weak defensive play.
Oh, well, then this is the one for that, Jamie. Weak defence.
Yeah, it's been calamitous, hasn't it, from Catalan Dragons. It's not only showing a lack of intent, but when you've got 11 players on the field as well on occasions, it becomes almost impossible and exponential in its downfall.
2 very important cards we will talk about shortly, a yellow and a red. Both went against the Catalan Dragons. So they go from 18-0 to 22-0 with Kalepi Tanganoa's try.
Yeah, as Jonesy said, it was impossible when they had 13. They're down to 11 at this point with the Tanganoa try. He just walks over the Catalan defence. The contact has been shocking. It went from bad to worse. Mikey Lewis kick over and watch him chase up the middle of the field. I think it's Broadbent who scores in the corner there. It was just so sloppy from Catalan, Jamie.
Yeah, some promise from Noah Booth. I really like that. And again, you see Batchelor hitting a great line like any back row would. And it was just, again, it just kept spiralling down for Catalan. But credit to
Hull KR are on point.
Yeah, exactly that. Hull KR, we've been asking a question, is it going to be a Challenge Cup hangover? Well, no, it's turned into a Challenge Cup exhibition in front of their crowd, in front of their own crowd. They're just enjoying themselves. You know, they're looking forward to what it might look like at the end of 80 minutes. It could be a disaster for Catalan.
Yeah, it's an exhibition from Hull KR, but there's 2 sides here. And I tell you this, like Hull KR came here expecting a tough game. They've not got that. They've not been given that. That's been taken away from them by the absolute abhorrent Catalan Dragons.
Okay,
disgraceful.
Let's get into this. Let's have a look at probably 2 talking points. Certainly Frank Maria's yellow card. I don't think many people would have had a problem with that. Neither the red card. This is the sin binning for the hit on Swasso Su. So okay, we accept that. He gets it. He gets that wrong. He goes off the field. It's what Ben Garcia did next that had me scratching my head.
As a man who's been nearly flawless for 10 years in his career, to react like that, he knows that's probably a red card. And if that's not, that's frustration. And that is a man who has played with such discipline and integrity throughout his career, just showing the ultimate frustration at the doldrums in which Catalan find themselves in.
And what's the mechanics behind that, John? You know, consummate professional. The perception is a great professional rugby league player, and he comes up with that. Why is that?
What would you offer up as an explanation,
You've
Jamie?
got faith, trust and care in the Hull KR team, and you see that through their actions. Tez Litton starts off getting off his line, chopping people in half. You've got Jack Broadbent at the other side, alien tackles, saving tries. They've been asked each other to do the hard work. They're just not turning up, and that was my point around conceding 40 points every game. At that side of the game, John, you're not just about care for your teammates. It's having a bit of pride in who you are and your identity. They've got none of that, Catalan, and the question is why.
7 halves of rugby league without a point, 292 minutes. It's a Super League record. This is like the Catalan Dragons from the bad old days of 2016 and 2017.
Do you know why Ben Garcia does that, Brian? Because he's the only guy having a crack. And he's been the only guy having a crack for 4 months. And he's playing with people like Tavita Pangai Jr., Luke Keary, who's clearly here on a holiday. He's just here for a paycheck. They've got too many people who they're carrying in terms of their attitude. Their attitude stinks. Catalan Dragons' attitude has stunk for ages. And that's the problem. Ben Garcia is carrying the weight of expectation as a captain on his shoulders and is reacting in frustration because of his teammates who just don't give any, they just don't care.
I tell you what,
nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care, and then they'll turn up for each other. That's dictatorship or leadership. There's none of that in this team.
Well, when the conversations behind the scenes about the future of French participation in Super League continue to bubble away, it would be the worst possible time, I would suggest, for Catalan Dragons to find themselves in the situation they're currently in. It's 38-0 to Hull Kingston Rovers. We've got another 40 minutes to go. They have already broken an unwelcome Super League record. Can the Dragons put anything in front of what has been a rampant Robins performance so far? You'll find out with us here on Sky Sports after this.
More excitement at your fingertips? You're on. Unibet has all your favourite slots. Thousands of top titles. New games drop weekly. Exclusive slots. Plus jackpots guaranteed at over £2 million and growing. Join today, deposit £10, get a £40 casino bonus. Unibet, you're on.
Guys, it's Royal Kingdom. I figured we're all gonna be playing it a lot, so I'm here to answer any questions. Yes, Bedtime Jimmy. Is it a good way to relax and have fun? Sure is. Showtime Jimmy? Are there ads? No. Can you believe they make games with no ads? Flight Jimmy. Do I need Wi-Fi? Nope, which means you can play anywhere. Just like so excited to download this game. Same. And you can download it now. Yeehaw! Who invited him? He's my emotional support cowboy. Giddy up, doggy! Royal Kingdom. Download it today.
We're into the final bend of the Coral Fan Derby, where racing lovers of the UK are in a spectacular contest. And what's this? He's shaking his phone like it's a pocket-sized maraca. They're all getting rewards now. He's shaking it, she's shaking it, they're all shaking it. Play the free Coral Reward Shaker to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
Let's play. Someone here is about to find out they've won Lotto, but who's the millionaire going to be? Maybe that guy, wondering, are crackers with the biscuits or the crisps? All in, buying a birthday card for a cat? Okay then. George is a millionaire. Get yourself a coat with sleeves. Lotto makes 2 millionaires a week on average. Will you be the next millionaire?
And our minds were meant to sail. Take a rest from my thoughts, take a break from this world, and we'll feel miles away from the places that we used to be.
Well, Super League continues without a break now until the October Grand Final. You'll see it all live with us here on Sky Sports. 2 games tomorrow, 2 Sunday. We've got Huddersfield against the reigning champions, the Wigan Warriors, who will look to keep pressure on Hull KR. 5-3 is Sky Sports Plus for that. And at 5 o'clock, an intriguing game from Headingley. The resurgent Rhinos up against the Cup finalists, the Warrington Wolves. Then on Sunday, Wakefield against Lee at 5-3 again on Sky Sports Plus, followed by Salford against the St Helens side, who will be desperate to get their season back on track. Well off track are the Catalan Dragons. They trail at half-time 38 points to 0 against Hull Kingston Rovers, who last week won the Challenge Cup at Wembley and who will look tonight to extend their lead at the top of the Betfred Super League table. Can they pile more points on the hapless Dragons in the second half? We'll find out shortly. Let's get what was said at half-time in both dressing rooms from Jenna Brooks.
As you can imagine, Willie Peters over the moon with that half. He said that he felt they started a little slow, but they certainly worked their way into that game. Expect to see some changes in this half. Elliot Minchella, the captain, he'll probably play for about 15-20 minutes at the most. Jez Litton, I've been told, is struggling a little, so he won't play too much of this second half. Joel Tompkins, his message, pretty simple. He said to his players, forget that half, challenge yourselves, show some character, and quite simply just put some pride back into the badge. It's 38-0. What can happen in this second half? Not quite sure. Over to you, Dave and Kyle.
Thank you, Jenna. Well, no doubt about the motivation of Hull Kingston Rovers here is to carry on piling on the points. Two table points, 2 competition points at stake, but points difference, that will be a bit of a lift as well. They are currently behind Wigan, or they started the night 19 points behind Wigan on points difference. The way it's going, they're going to finish 4 points ahead of them, and points difference is going to be a lot healthier than Wigan as well, so that will be a motivation for Hull KR to carry on scoring. And Catalan, well,
As we heard from Joel Tompkins, simply have to find a bit of pride in their performance. As it stands, the aggregate score for them over the last 3.5 games is Catalan 0, their opposition 160.
Ouch.
So they're not only not scoring, they're conceding big as well. 40 against St Helens, 48 against Wigan, 34 against Hull, 38 here tonight so far.
And anybody who has coached or played the game, or even watched the game for that matter, knows that defence is an attitudinal thing, Dave. Peter Hiku, just see, just edging over 40 metres away from his own end, but he gets a quick play of the ball once more. Elliot Minchella ball playing, and here comes Kalepi Tanginoa.
He's having a burst. He's talking to Bruno Antonion. Oh, here we go. It's Litton who dashes away.
Oh.
They're creating already a little drift. A good recovery. Good fair dues to Mathieu Laguerre, who got across there well.
Yeah, he did. He had to as well. Here comes Mikey Lewis's kick.
Up in the air, and Kiri catches. And they start from there. As I say, I talked to Bruno Antonion, who's the French reporter, who's brilliant. You know, he's watched this team home and away since their inception, and he knows everything there is to know. And he was saying, what do you expect when we are 2 men down? Well, there is that to it, Bruno, but it has been poor as well. Catalan looking to build from deep inside their own half. If they can rebuild, a little bit of pride here tonight. Ooh, that's again just a miss. This is the last play, by the way. So in the end, Laguerre's got to do that. Just hack it as far as he can, and no structure, no plan, and immediately Hawkins Rovers are chasing after them again. Lack of cohesion. Mikey Lewis patiently. Now Tanginoa. Galloping forward again. He looks full of energy tonight, doesn't he?
57 minutes as well last week in that cup final, and he looks fresh tonight.
Cello pops it back, and May helps it on, and Batchelor is on a hat-trick, but you have to have the ball in your hand for that kind of thing, and he's lost it quite easily. So Catalan get a bit of a let-off here, and a chance to get out of trouble as well. Tommy Makinson.
Yeah, they need to do a little bit better than the previous set there, Dave. It was a little bit scratchy.
And,
goodness me.
Referee says, Tommy, you didn't play it right, and Tommy Makinson's hurt here. That might be a clue as to why he didn't play it right.
He's fallen over, mate. We can't play him from that ruck. It's hand over.
So, okay, I'll get it back. Here we go. Look at that. They're missing a few. Sam Tompkins, Paul Seguier, Fuadiaha out tonight, but just about every club can point to that kind of injury list, can't they, at the moment? Not the least Hull KR. Joe Burgess, Ollie Gildart, Jared Warrior-Hargreaves, Mickey McElroy, and Reece Martin. There's a host of stars they've not got available to them as well.
And Sam Lockley in there as well.
Sam Lockley. Here's Brown. Interesting to see Eribe Doro coming on tonight as well from the bench, if and when he does. He had some impact against St Helens a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he sure did. He blasting holes in the Saints' defensive line for fun, but there might be an opportunity here. Wonderful.
Quick hands, Davis cutting back to the middle. Outside was too much of a gamble with defenders coming across, so the safety route taken. Here's Morg dancing and dazzling, and an end is put to that by Maria. Litton to May, his dummy, and oh, the timed pass. Oh, Mikey Lewis slips.
Just slips, yeah.
Every defender seemed to be ahead of the ball there. Mikey Lewis has hurt himself. Litton tries the kick. That's untidy, that's scratchy. Catalan have it back again, and Mikey Lewis limps away from the scene.
Yeah, perhaps they would have wanted points in that set. It looked also all but certain there through the delayed ball from May to Lewis. Not a bad place to turn the ball over.
Dummy, keep going. Keep going.
These are difficult carries, especially when you're 38-0 down.
Mango Jr. with the offload again. It's not necessarily addressed to the player who eventually picked it up. Laguerre on the end of that. There's Fage. Just looking to barge their way through here. Get themselves to the other end as quickly as they possibly can, but they're on the last, so forced to kick again. Fage boots it away, and on the full from Morg, which means he's going to be very close to the halfway line. In fact, right on the halfway line when he starts this set.
I love the balance and the footwork from Artyom Morg. So often just finds a little bit of space in between a couple of Catalan players.
Robert right up to the line and flicks it away to Batchelor. Just hinted at the possibility of an inside ball for the chasing Morg, but had to go down, ball and all in the end. Mikey Lewis looks to have recovered from whatever was ailing him a few moments ago, and here's Soaso Su. You're wondering about the boos in the background. They're not boos, they're Sus.
You just get a sense that the home team, every time they're down this end of the field, they look like they're going to score.
Brown down. 5 gone, 1 to play. Lytton. Minchella. Timing the ball again, and there'll be more Sus filling the air, because it's another easy one. Soaso Su's second of the night. He's on for an unlikely hat-trick. And the scoring, I should say, starts again, 42-0.
Yeah, I just got the sense that they were coming home with a wet sail here. And that there, just 2 middles combining. So Soaso Su take nothing away from Hull KR's attack. But the Dragons' defence, woeful once again. Regardless of being a man down, it should never be that easy. He just tears the inside shoulder off Luke Keary. And there was no chance for a Spiro B-shape on the physical size and presence of Soaso Su.
It's coming off. It's coming off. Momentarily, glory denied. But on in his place, well, not on his place, but Billy Leyland is coming on, and so is Uribe Doro. Continuing emergence of that young man in Super League. Morg sticks it over. 44 points to 0. And we said we wouldn't mention this again, but hey, I lied. It's now 5 hours since Catalan last scored a point. A point.
And Soaso Su there, he only had 1 try this season heading into this, and that's his second brace of his career. The last one coming from his time at West Tigers against New Zealand Warriors back in 2016. And there's a dejected look.
Every picture tells a story, and the story is writ large. It's Tommy Makinson. Gets things underway again, and here he comes.
Here we go.
Off the back fence. They love him. They love him. He does have a mistake in him, as we saw in that Saints game, a mistake or two. But boy, does he have some power. This is slow again. Doro wants another go, having sat on the bench for such a long time. Didn't quite trust himself with the offload to Broadbent. You can see the attacking stats so far. None of that will surprise you. Hiccup.
Those tackle busts tell an incredible story about a side that's not willing or prepared to put their body in front.
Here's Lewis across the line, and Tanginoa, I think it would have been forward anyway. It was certainly knocked on. It's amazing how much time Hull KR players seem to have. The Mays and the Lewises of this world, they seem to have a lot of time to make their minds up about where they're going to go and what they're doing. Quietest it's been all night, I think. Kyle? It'll rev up again though, won't it?
Oh, for sure. You'd imagine that Hull KR will probably pull some more points.
There we go. They heard us. They heard us. There's a parade afterwards. There's a pitch celebration after this. You'd expect that though, wouldn't you? and you cannot begrudge them that.
Absolutely not. 40-year wait for that major trophy. And they'll display it loud and proud.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan saying he wasn't born. It's the first time since he was born that Hull Kingston Rovers have won a trophy. We were only in short pants, weren't we, last time?
Speak for yourself, Dave.
Svaj, Kiri, back on the inside. Romano. Sirinen, and a dummy half, little show and a go, but not going very far because Hull Kingston Rovers making their business to wrap themselves around the Catalan intentions. Kiri takes it in. It's Smith who dances away from a couple of would-be defenders. This is the last play. Kiri, the last Catalan player to score a try, puts it high. And Morg, who himself scored a few for Catalan this season, is eventually put down. Now it's Davis, looking to burst from deep inside his own half. They will, at the very least, be 2 points clear at the top of the table at the end of the weekend. It could be 4. Hull Kingston Rovers. This is Hiku, searching back on the inside. Again, there's just so much time taken before we can eventually get up and play again. And Morg now rolls forward and keeps it alive, and May looks over the top and pops it out there.
Yeah.
This is Broadbent. One to go. Mikey Lewis sticks it high. Down it comes. Spirou Bichet with a simple catch, and Catalan starting from there again. A lot of hard work to do again, deep inside their own half. Makinson playing, we suspect, with an injury. Just offloading away to Smith. Kotric. Makinson again. Working hard for his team. Sirinen at dummy half. Having a look what's on offer. It's Pangai Jr. who goes pounding in and tries to get the ball free. Almost lost it. Almost lost it.
You got lucky there.
But again, they're finishing a set inside their own half. Partington to Kiri, and they're going to try and go through hands here, and it's ill-advised. Scruffily, Davis has it back again.
It was wonderful work.
Has he lost it? Yes, he has. Pressure from Remus Smith.
And here's a rare opportunity for the Dragons. I was just going to praise the work there from Jack Brown and Aribi Doro, applying inside pressure. There's no captain challenge there. Tom Davies just loses the ball. And the Dragons will get this, Dave, about 30 metres away.
Needing to keep their focus here, aren't they, Hull Kingston Rovers? Needing to keep their foot on the pedal, mind on the job.
Well, Willie Peters will be 100% saying that. But they could almost be forgiven. But I don't see that out there tonight. I see a ruthless performance here.
Just at the moment, Catalan not exactly scrapping their way back into the game, but just enjoying a bit more than they did in the first half as Kotric takes it on. Reminder, they are down to 12 men. If you missed it, if you're switching on late, Ben Garcia sent off for a punch, maybe a couple of punches in the first half, which is why Catalan are down to 12. They were down to 11 for a short spell as well. Maria was in the sin bin. But here they go, offering a threat. And it's not often we've said that so far tonight, but can they build from here? Sirinen again. Partington. Sirinen. And left, and now Pangai Jr. going the direct route. But the ball slips away. The chance goes, and Mikey Lewis is back there.
Trying to get the crowd riled up again. I think he was trying for an offload, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Elliot Minchella just underneath that ball. The Super League's top offloaders, Tavita Pangai Jr. He just tries to keep that play alive in almost a desperation mode when it comes to nothing.
We know what's happening on this side of the city. It's a party night for Hull KR. Anything but for Hull FC. Castleford 18 points to 6. They lead at the moment. Plenty of time in that game. Sky Sports Plus for that one, by the way. Little dash and a dummy half again from Artem Lord, who's making great progress.
Look, there's 3 times he could have been pulled down there.
Billy Leyland, wasn't he? I do apologise.
Races away 30 metres.
Here's Doro. Leyland again. Lewis, the kick and a chase, and look how many are after it. It's 4 against 1. You'd still make Espiro Bichet favourite to get there, but as soon as he gets it, those Hull Kingston Rovers players are all over him. So Catalan again having to start from there.
Yeah, and smart play when you think about where they started. Mikey Lewis just sees the fullback a little bit too high, an acre of space behind him. An early kick in the tackle count, and they just transition straight into defence. They are so good down this end of the field, Dave. They really do enjoy the ugliest part of the game, which is this. Kick chase, getting off your line, restricting your opposition metres.
Pangai Jr. trying to burst, trying to get up and quickly play it, and he does. Kiri now, the defenders in the shape of Brown advancing, kicks away. Morg will catch, looking to return towards that halfway line, sees a bit of a gap, almost slides through. Grabbed a hold of by Sirinen. Here's Davis. Leyland, one of Super League's unlucky players, isn't he? Missed out the whole of last year because of injury with London. Missed out on a Challenge Cup final last week because of Mickey McAlorum. But of an age where you'd think chances will come again. Hiku searching this near side, and it's Remus Smith who comes to the rescue. Pangai Jr. was almost statuesque there as Hiku ran past him. It's with May, all the time in the world. Tries to pick a pass, tries to be too clever in the end. Kotric catches.
Mikey Lewis furious there. And his fellow half tried to go for the miracle ball over the top, the photo finish.
Oh, half a break by Laguerre.
Sitting here too much time and just wants to loft that ball over. Kotric.
Oh,
big shot there. Uribe Doro.
Saddleworth lad. Time at Warrington, of course. Time at Bradford. Sirinen scooping it on. Last play is the next. Kick away by Kiri. Booth on the return. Well, he's caught that, hasn't he? He's caught that high. That's what we've got for you over the next few days, as ever, on Sky Sports. NRL action, Super League action as well, and some mouth-watering games in amongst all of those, both up here and down there. Hiku. Smith again doing a job right in front of him. Hadley. Bench podcast is, we can remind you of most weeks, get it downloaded. Some fantastic, some fascinating interviews on there with Jenna and John, who do a great job just pulling out the real stories from some of our celebrities in the game. It's kicked high here by Mikey Lewis. Davis is chasing, but Espiro Bichet got up there too. Referee's got a decision to make here. So Catalan will get it back here.
And you just see there the left arm of Davis
dislodges that ball. But again, just look where they turn it over, Dave. This is a side that's lacking energy in the Dragons. And the task with going 85 metres up the other end of the field, if they're going to get any change out of this watertight Hull KR defence this evening.
Busquets. Must be hurting his pride. He talked about Ben Garcia in the first half, but in this second half as well, so many players in this Catalan side who've been there for such a long time, who will be desperately hurting us the way things are going at the moment. Nottington. Tyrone May looks as though he's come off second best in that physical coming together.
There's a couple of bodies down here. James Batchelor, sorry. Just getting back now. Another 6 again, that's 2 in a row.
Kiri, oh, little dummy from him, and Kiri's away. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Catalan have scored a point, and we're here to watch it. Kiri was the last try scorer at Magic Weekend. It's anything but magic tonight, but at least Catalan have a try on the board.
And it all came off the back of a Tommy Makinson carry, first of all. That was the 6 again, and then Chris Sate wins another one. Ali Minchella takes the show and goal. And Luke Keary just slides over. Artie Morg can't do anything for the left fend of Luke Keary. And just when I said the defence was watertight, perhaps a trickle being leaked.
5 hours and 12 minutes since they last scored. Between points, 5 hours and 12 minutes.
Well, we're celebrating that, but it's not really anything to celebrate.
I don't think anybody is celebrating, to be fair. There's not a lot of joy there. I mean, it's a tough gig, isn't it, that Joel Tompkins takes over. His coaching experience is pretty minimal, isn't it? And he's taken over this job, and it was mayhem, chaos when he first took over the role. He's had a couple of weeks, as he was saying before, Challenge Cup, but there's such a lot of fixing up to be done at the club, not just at the team at the moment, that you feel for him.
Yeah, you sure do. You've referenced the last couple of performances over the last 6 weeks or so. And that first half particularly, it's got a little bit better for the Dragons second half, but there's still some worrying signs out there. For me, it just looks like some of the players, I agree with John Wilkin, perhaps just enjoying life in the south of France far too easy. They need to put a bit more effort in.
We'd forgotten who Catalan's goal kicker was. Anyway, Espiro Bichet, who's just put that over. 44-6. 17 minutes to go. Crabbing across the field goes Satai. Oh, and he's doing a job here. My goodness, what about this from Satai? That was terrific. And it's going to end, is it, in the...
Look at this.
Well, I think Satai's furious here. Oh, here we go again.
What's he doing? What on earth is he doing?
Well, for all that effort... What are we going here now? Just being reminded of his Hull FC heritage, I think, by the Hull KR fans. So have a look at this.
Tom Grant's right, he's not held at all. They've every right to push him over the sideline.
Oh, it's a young fella booed, just shouting at Satai, and I think Satai's saying, do not disrespect me. And then a push and a clash of heads. Somebody got in the way there. Looks like a game of conkers.
I'm going to go with the play the ball.
Well, he's every right to be furious, isn't he, Satay, in terms of the frustration of this game. The effort he put in, the way it ended, and then a young fella gives him a bit of mouth and he just loses it a little.
The effort, perhaps, Dave, is 63 minutes too
Look
late.
at that. I think it was booed in October, wasn't it? I'm not sure you get knocked over like that you can then have a go at the fella who knocked you over.
Is that understood? Let's go. Play the ball. Go on that throw.
Thankfully, it's just get up and get on with it.
Is it 50, yeah? Mark it.
Noah Booth had a try-scoring debut against Salford, I think it was, wasn't it, at the Magic weekend?
Yeah. Well, he had to be brave and throw his body into Satay, and he came off second best.
Well, because it ended in touch, it means that Kingston Rovers have it back again. No real run-up there for Dore. So Leyland waits and delivers. Hadley now, taking it on. May. More 5 steps in from the touchline. Here's Tyrone May again. Leyland waits in the middle. Hadley. They're numbering up over on that left-hand side. May taking control of that situation. Bowling it back for Hadley again. Hadley shows the dummy and then flicks a beautiful pass away. This is wonderful stuff. Batchelor, he's only a yard away from a hat-trick at the end of it. And over goes Mikey Lewis. Has he got that down? Referee's having a good look. Yep, he's convinced he has. A little dive over from dummy half to finish it all off. It's another Mikey Lewis try. And Kingston Rovers stretching their lead.
Yeah, there was a couple of players in the build-up there. OKR players just getting in between bodies, promoting the ball. Batchelor gets pulled down. A nice tackle from Makinson. They can't do enough there to stop Mikey Lewis from just darting over. Gets under Aspiro Biche again. He collects his 14th try this season. And with this kick to come from Artie Morg, the Robins might just hit the 50.
Well, the man of the moment last week, he might not have had his best game of his career at Wembley, Mikey Lewis, but he will be remembered forever for the real nervy, tense kick at the end that won the trophy. Here comes Morg, and he slots that in nicely, and they've hit the half-century. Bats raised, 50 points to 6. There we go, that's what it was been all about this last week or so. They're not watching the game anymore, they've just decided to pose for a few photographs. Neil Hudson in the background. I mean, what a role he's played at this club. I remember going in the dressing room after that golden point defeat against Salford when Hull KR were relegated, and he was absolutely desolate, but simply said, we go again, we go again, we rebuild. And my goodness,
gone again, have they?
Oh, it's a lesson for everybody, isn't it? Here comes Doro, sprinting off the line, just putting that big body of his in the way of things. 40 minutes left to play, 50 points to 6, Hull Kingston Rovers lead, looking to build again from deep inside their own half. Taken on by Whitbread. Here's Leyland. It's dancing out. Straighten up again, but Tanganoa not going too far this time. Gets up and plays. It's back with Hadley. That's the last, or that's the 5th, I should say, so this will be the last. Mikey Lewis
Certainly behind the 40 by a distance, but the kick is down the middle. And it's another moment from the match that Espiro Biche, that talented young man, will not want to look back on.
Look, we've said talented, and I get that. He burst onto the scene, but I think the last couple of performances from Espiro Biche, he's shown an awful lot of frailties. A young man, yes, I get it. But he's come up with some crucial mistakes now in the last few games, and he needs to learn quickly here.
But he's 19 years of age, and he's playing at the back of a beaten team, not just a beaten team. It's a side that's lost. Hang on, Kyle Amor's wrecking the joint at the moment. I mean, there's the look from the coach that tells you all you need to know. Lewis with a feed, May takes it on. Dummying all the way, trying to get them catching pigeons again into the hands of Davis. Trier begging, couldn't keep hold of the ball. Well, he sets it up on a play. If you're wondering why Kyle Amor's been quiet for the last couple of minutes, it's because he stood on a wire, and dismantled everything. We're glad to have you back, Kyle.
No, thank you.
He didn't have those headphones on about a minute ago.
The whole thing went
around his neck. Anyway, here we go. Da Costa out a dummy half. Catalan looking to bring it clear again. But it's hard work at the moment because Holkington Rovers are ramping it up in defence. Just closing down any intentions that Catalan might have. Rovers fans in great voice again, enjoying this moment in time when it's great to be a Robin. Da Costa. Sling it into Fage. Oh, and again, and quickly they swoop, and here comes Booth with a kick back on the inside. Lewis was chasing it, but it's covered, and Catalan do have it back.
They can afford to roll the dice, Dave, when you're up by 44 points. Mikey Lewis nearly gets that, and nearly gets his hat-trick. You would have imagined if he'd have collected that, it'd have been over for sure.
Yeah, they've spilled a couple tonight, haven't they? 2 or 3. They might look back on the review on Monday or tomorrow or whenever they do it and think, oh, we should have scored there and we should have scored there. And that won't take away from the night and the move.
And looking further ahead, Dave, I actually think that, yes, there was a story in this for Hull KR with the cup hangover as Catalan they killed the play there. Wonderful tackle from Batchelor. And they've got a tricky game next week, Dave, at Castleford.
Yeah.
All this will stop. Wembley, the party tonight. And they get brought back down to earth in the jungle. A difficult challenge for them.
And Casa in the mood for it. Because look at that latest score at Hull FC. They could be on the way to a rare victory. They're becoming less rare, aren't they?
Well, the performances have been improving. It's a big win for them if they can go on and see it out, but there might be more points.
Davis stepping, ducking, crawling on all fours. Can't find a way through. Morg now. Still wait. And Tyrone May spinning it back. Hickus in the centre of things. Mikey Lewis could feel that someone was advancing quickly, gets a pass away, and that's a wonderful take and turn by Broadbent. And Booth for the corner, not to be denied this time. He's a young fella they think an awful lot about in these parts. Scored on his debut and scores again tonight. 54 points to 6. He takes it too. And he's enjoying the night and enjoying the moment.
He's enjoying his opportunity back in this quality side. Noah Booth, he's got a little bit of work to do on the end of this, but just look at how many numbers Hull KR have. Players arriving in motion. Broadbent does ever so well to spin out of that tackle. And Noah Booth, with a little bit of room running out, he manages just to step hard off that right boot and get over in the corner.
He's a Cats lad, isn't he? I think he was at the academy at Warrington, and then he went to Wakefield, and he was signed here from Wakefield for the start of this season. He's been on loan at Hunslet as well, but as we said earlier, he did make a try-scoring debut in that big win against Salford up at Magic Weekend at Newcastle, and played a part, a very fine part, in the first half try as well, didn't he?
Yeah, a wonderful take, and then the offload back inside to Broadbent. Well, this time Broadbent returns the favour and try scorer, turns try provider. And Hull KR's 10th try of the evening. It's been an absolute rout. And Hull KR. Artie Morg.
Here we go. Has he got it? Has he got it?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Fabulous stuff. And belatedly, we should say, he's now past the 500 Super League points as well, Artie Morg. 495 before the night began, but well past 500 now. And enjoying converting on the back of moments like this. I mean, Broadbent's been a real hero in recent weeks as well, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been sensational. His versatility has proved its weight in gold for Willie Peters. The Catalan Dragons here, Dave, with 6 minutes to go. They're staring at another record that perhaps they won't want. In fact, they certainly won't. The 60 points to 12 lost to Leeds back in 2006 is their heaviest in Super League.
Yeah, they're desperate to avoid that. Again, another reminder that they have been down to 12 men for, what, about 53 minutes. By the end of the game, it'll be 53 minutes that they'll have been down to 12 men, because Garcia sent off in the 27th. But even considering that, it has been an under par performance by the French side.
Yeah.
Leyland. OKR is searching for more, and it's this fella as well, Morg, is searching for more. Little kick again by Batchelor, and the fullback does a job this time. His confidence might be a little ragged at the moment as Spiro Bichet because of a couple of errors he's made in this game. But he did just enough on that occasion to defuse the situation. As Catalan look to come again, a wall of white and red that waits ahead of them. Elkingston Rovers have been points greedy tonight, and equally, oh, it's the young fella again. That is heartbreaking. He's just thrown the ball on the ground. You can understand that frustration.
Another mistake there. The point I was trying to make earlier on, Dave, I cast my mind back to the kick through for Mikey Lewis's first try. He should have dealt with that, got on that. He drops another one cold in back play. The captain's challenge here.
Captain's challenge? What's that for? Well, they said he didn't knock on. Let's hear from the video referee.
Tackle 3, Catalans are challenging the on-field ruling of a knock-on. Yes, we'll run it now. It touches the hand. Can we have... So we've established that on that angle it touches the hand. Can we go to camera 4, please, for perspective on direction? As he's moving forward. Yeah, let's run this through. There's a hand there. And the ball travels forward towards their opponent's dead ball line. The challenge by Catalan is unsuccessful. Be a knock-on, Hull KR ball.
I suspect that was just a noble attempt to spare the young man's blushes, because that was...
That's the worst challenge
the most obvious ever.
Successful off this challenge.
Maybe they wanted a breather, Dave.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just to instill in him a little bit of injustice, maybe. But... And by the way, that's a knock-on.
So Hull Kingston Rovers looking to come again here. Not won many, have they? 9 lost, the 13 they picked, and here come Catalan again having to defend back on their own line because Hull Kingston Rovers, another wave of attack launched at their opponents. Hadley straightening things up, setting a platform there right in the middle of the park. Lewis to the left, May to the right. That's the way they go. Here is May. And Davis trying to duck underneath defenders, unable to do so. Hicker has to wait a while. Tyrone May again all the time in the world. He's just playing the game at his own pace. He's being allowed to. And look at this for a path being picked. Whitbread eventually dragged down. Another set of 6. Another set of 6.
Yeah, I think they're going to get that 60 here.
Penalty. Tap and go, surely.
The ball raked out there.
Can't challenge it, of course. They've wasted that one. Not that it really matters anyway. It's Brown who takes it close. Trying to get the ball out. You could see he was maybe trying to promote it, but has to hold on grimly. Leyland goes out of dummy half, and Whitbread on a smash and grab raid, which the referee's not sure about.
Have a try.
Try on the field. So the likelihood is it will be a score, but we've got to get confirmation here from the video referee, Jack Smith again.
Tackle 1, try on field. We're just checking grounding of the ball, please. See if this gives us anything, if we can see the ball. See the ball on that. See the ball there. Right, this angle is going to be our best play. Just go back on this angle. Just with a couple of frames. Right, forwards now. We see the ball come into shot. Whitbread's in possession. His hand is clearly on the ball, and the ball is grounded. Made my decision.
So the try is going to be confirmed here. Try 11 of the night, and it takes Hull Kingston Rovers to 60 points. And as Kyle was mentioning earlier, that is the unwanted record. It's going to be Catalan's biggest defeat. I was going to say in the Super League era, but they've only been with us in the Super League era, haven't they? They lost 60 points to 12 to Leeds. They lost 60 points to 16 to Huddersfield as well. They have lost bigger, 62-0 to Hull.
I was just about to say it.
That was in the cup.
Now that's been equalled.
Yeah.
So it's their biggest. 62-0, or 62-6 rather. As Whitbread crashes over from short range. In a number of tries through that middle third of the field. Tawasso Su grabbing a brace. Jai Whitbread, hasn't he been good value since joining the club?
Well, the party started, I think, about 7 days ago, to be fair. And that's the reason for most of the celebration, that trophy. And those young fellas will remember this period of their lives with some affection for some time. 3 minutes to go. And Hull Kingston Rovers maybe ain't finished yet. Full-time, Hooter has sounded on the other side of the city, and you can see that's a big win for Castleford. Big defeat as well for Hull, who are trying to establish themselves as top 6 challengers. That's just been announced. That's just been announced on the PA. I think he's got the biggest cheer of the night, that. It's typical Derby stuff, isn't it? No matter what your side are doing, if the other side are doing terribly, that's cause for celebration. They're off for some more. Here's Noah Booth, striding. He's got a full back ahead of him whose confidence is shot. He gets a pass away. Tanganoa is dragged down. Noah Booth looks as though he's picked up a bit of an injury in back play, but they've got so much space over here. It's a question of who scores, not will they score. And the man on the end of it is Tyrone May. And that takes us to 66 points to 6. Clickety-click. It's all been clicking just right from Hull KR's point of view. And tonight they've got a full house as well. Catalan's woes go from bad to worse.
Oh, it's not just the Dragons who are experiencing records this evening. Hull KR, their highest points that they've ever scored in Super League is 70. 66 tonight with a kick to come. Tyrone May. The clock will beat them, of course. But what a show they've put on. We said it was a homecoming party. Well, each and every one of them inside tonight, the 11,000 who have came, well, they've been entertained. And Tyrone May, the latest on the score sheet. And the Dragons, goodness me.
Well, this will be 10 goals if Arthur Moore can put this over. The record is Michael Dobson against Castleford in 2011. Oh no, he kicked 11. Kicked 11. 2012. Thank you to Prockers as ever for that stat. Telling the ball where he wants it to fly. Has to tell his right boot the same thing now. Here he comes, and he sets it on its way, and it is double figures. That is a splendid haul. 20 points just with a boot tonight. 68 points to 6.
Artie Morg at the start of this season was in these opposite colours of Catalan Dragons. Sliding door moments for him, but he must be pinching himself. And look at the box. Coach is all high five, smiles all around. Job done.
Well, they've just about got time to start again. Somebody tell that young fella it's not always been this easy, you know. There's some older fellas around him who'll tell him, older ladies as well, who'll tell him there's been some bad times along the way. It's been the last play of the 80 minutes. They're going lateral, the kick over the top. They want more points. And here comes Noah Booth, stepping back on the inside, but that will be that as a tackle comes in. They came here to party tonight. They never knew it would be such a relaxed atmosphere. But Hull Kingston Rovers have dominated this, more or less, from the opening minutes of the game. Ben Garcia with an early opportunity, but a video ref denied him. And then, after that, it turned into a horror show for Catalan Dragons. Hull Kingston Rovers will parade the Challenge Cup. The form they're in at the moment, they could well be parading a grand final trophy as well at the end of the year. They're 4 points clear at the top of the table after this huge win tonight. They've beaten Catalan by 68 points to 6.
Dave Kyle, thank you very much. Smiles all round, a bumper crowd at Sewell Group Craven Park. And the Challenge Cup winners continue their quest in the Betfred Super League to hit the League Leader Shield in 2025 and a grand final, but they're being chased hard by the Wigan Warriors. They know that. They've gone 4 clear with Wigan to play Huddersfield tomorrow for the Catalan Dragons. We'll just have a look at that. Castleford's win over Hull FC pushes them to within 2 points of the Catalan Dragons, who sit in 9th. Could Castleford stage a late run for the playoffs? We shall see. At the moment, though, it's KR clear at the top by 4 from the reigning champions, Wigan. John Wilkin, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, you go to Wembley, you win in an attritional game against a very good side in the Warrington Wolves, and you come here back to league business, and back to your brilliant best.
Yeah, disciplined, professional, exactly what you'd expect from an OKR performance, to get to celebrate the Challenge Cup win again, double bubble. Bonus repeat, and credit to him, some notable performances as well. Young Noah Booth, I thought, had some really nice moments, a chance for Willie Peters to send some of his young guns out there. Dorrell just carting the ball up the middle, and a great night for OKR and all their fans.
Yeah, the second half was all about giving people minutes. Doro, in particular, giving him some time. Leyland, some time. That may be incredibly valuable for Willie Peters come the big games at the back end of the year.
Their last Super League win here was against St Helens, and we bid them farewell and good luck in the Challenge Cup final, particularly to the man who joined us pitchside, Jack Broadbent. And I think we can hear from him again now. It just gets better and better for this young man, Jenna. Player of the match.
Doesn't it just, Jack, their fullback, centre, tonight you played winger, whatever he says. Listen, the party continues at Craven Park.
Yeah, that was kind of our theme tonight. We knew that we were going to be going around with a trophy, and it's kind of earned the right, you know, for our fans to have a good sing-along. We knew it wouldn't be the right atmosphere if we came off with a loss. Everyone speaks about that, you know, cup hangover. So we've kept it like this week, and you know, I think it showed out there. We come ready to go.
68-6, but you said Willie will be moaning about the 6.
Yeah, you know, it's not us. Come straight through us, so that'll be looked at. And you know, that period at game, we want to be staying on top because we know we're going to have tougher tests, you know, come the end of the year, and that's when we really need to be ruthless. So yeah, but it's always a fun game when you know, kind of half time you know you've probably got the game in the bag, but we don't want to rest on our laurels. We want to go get that 0. So yeah, still something to work on.
Touched on it on the start there. Fullback last week, centre tonight. You've played on the wing as well. In terms of going from last week to tonight, what changes for you?
Not much really. Just getting involved. I think when I've been playing centre, not really been getting involved. You know, he challenged me to, you know, get my hands on the ball, and I think I did that tonight. So yeah, it's easy slotting in. Obviously, I had a tough week last week. You know, it's nice to back up this week at centre and get a good game.
Certainly did, Jack Broadbent. Congratulations, you are the Betfred Player of the Match, and you will be parading the trophy very shortly. Go and join your teammate.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you. We'll bring in the interim head coach of the Catalan Dragons, Joel Tompkins. Joel, what's going on?
If I knew that, you know, I'd change it, but no, it's unbelievably embarrassing, to be honest, for me, for the club, for the group of players especially. We're just not there at the minute. We're going to have to get ourselves out of it because nobody else is going to help us. And for me, the only way we're going to do that is by working hard, working a bit harder than we are, because come up against a team like that and it's just based on effort, the 1% things and all the little cliches what coaches talk about, but it's what wins your games. It's what teams like Hull KR do, and we're just absolutely nowhere near that level at the minute.
You mentioned the word embarrassing. What was the most embarrassing thing about that performance?
I mean, the scoreline, obviously. And then towards the back end of each half, I thought we looked like we gave up, if I'm honest. We're low on confidence, we're low on energy, and we look like a few of our boys probably gave up a little bit at the end, which is probably the ultimate disrespect to the jersey. So I think as a group, we're going to have to start doing some really hard work.
So how do you fix it? How we spoke about at half-time that they almost lost pride in the badge. How do you bring that back?
We have to stick together for one. We can't be pointing fingers. I've been in dressing rooms myself as a player where when you start pointing fingers, there's only one way it's going to go, and that's down. So we have to stick together. We have to try and stay positive if there's anything we can be positive about, but we just need to put a bit more effort in. It needs to mean a little bit more to the players individually. You know, it's got to hurt this. It's got to really hurt because, you know, we were nil 3 weeks in a row, and then we've turned up tonight, and to me it doesn't look like it's hurt as much as it should have done. So we'll come in Monday, we'll train hard, and then we'll have another go next week, and hopefully we can turn it around.
Joel, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
How did they get to here? Well, maybe more on the Catalan Dragons later. For now, the night belongs to Hull KR. This huge crowd gets to celebrate the Wembley victory. The great Mike Smith hands over the trophy to Elliot Minchella. Well, this will go down well. Wonderful photo opportunity. And the previous generation of Hull KR heroes, hands on the mantle to the side, that have brought the trophy back to the east side of Hull in 2025 in front of the Roger Millward stand. And very fitting that when his number that had been retired gets brought back out and put on the back of Mikey Lewis, the great Mikey Lewis plays his part in this sensational victory. Well, John, from a distance, you're being urged to have a look at the cup, celebrate this.
I've had a good look at it, Brian. No, they've won one here. Just remind them. I will just remind them it's the first one in a long time.
Well, it is. It's going to be a special celebration. Elliot Minchella, I mean, the Catalan Dragons, it's hard to believe. They played in 2 of the last 4 grand finals. They now have to look on and look at the club in the ascendancy and wonder how far they have slipped in recent times.
And I thought Joel Tompkins summed it up brilliantly. The fireworks go off, and rightly so, as Hull KR celebrates a landmark moment in their club's history. Captain Elliot Minchella typifies what's good about Hull KR. His performance in the Challenge Cup final, 80-minute performance, 60 tackles, 150 metres, and he does all the little things so well.
Well, wow. we've got to enjoy this.
I love fireworks, organised chaos. It's sublime, isn't it? And it's explosive, but there's a design to it as well, and I think that's what Hull KR are all about. You know, the way that they play, there's obviously a design that they've been building for the last 3 years, but they're able to entertain as well, and I just love what John's talking about there. Elliot Minchella being the personification of what Hull KR are missing. Completely agree, but it's taken time to build, and that's what Joel Tompkins needs, is to find a cause and time to build it again.
They've built here at Hull Kingston Rovers not a team, a squad capable of challenging at the very top. You need a squad to win a Super League trophy. I'd suggest to you, from what we've seen this year, they have that.
Yeah, I think they do. On paper, they've taken players who maybe haven't found a home for them here, and I think that's a stunning success of Danny Ward, Sean Kenny-Dowell and Willie Peters, is to take players and produce an environment that brings the best out in those players. That's the success here, and also that connection between the players and the beautiful fans of East Hull.
Well, they are parading the trophy. Oh, we might even get a close look at it here. Elliot Minchella, congratulations to them all. They're watching a video of their success at Wembley as they walk around to applause. That's going to grow and grow. Well, they've got their families with them. They've got the younger players at this great club. And they have got all the staff, everybody that has played their part. All right, let's hear from Willie Peters with Jenna. They're somewhere here.
Thanks, Brian. I have Willie. I have his beautiful family alongside him. First of all, Willie, you asked your players to step up for the fans tonight. Well, they put on quite a show.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scratchy start, but I'm really happy the way we found our groove. But, you know, we spoke about tonight, this is for the fans. You know, we had our celebration last week, but we want to give these fans give them something what they deserve.
On the fans, when you see the city react the way they have this week, how does that fuel the hunger to go and win another piece of silverware?
Well, just looking at the screen there and looking at last week, you want more of it, you know. There's a lot of hard work. You have to get that. So, look, we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves. Of course, you're going to enjoy this. You know, as I said before, it's for a lot of people in and around the club, but people that are not with us anymore. You know, we said that last week. We're going to do it for a lot of people. So today's a celebration of last week, but it's down to business again from tomorrow, focusing on Castleford.
I mentioned your family with you. I know the day after the final, you spent a beautiful day with the family. It was an emotional day, Kira, I know, but just a word on what your husband has achieved with this team.
I'm so proud of him. He's worked so hard for this moment, and I think the whole team, the staff, everyone involved just deserves this. And yeah, it's so good to see that he finally has won something, and I'm so proud of him. I'm like, yay!
And boys, I bet you're proud of your dad as well.
Yeah.
Wearing the Hull KR colours proudly.
Yeah, a lot.
Willie, just a word on what your family, I suppose, have sacrificed. Australians, they've moved over here, they're living in Hull. Just what do they do for you, and how do they drive you? How do they make you the coach that you are?
Yeah, they do everything. Probably the biggest cry that I had was the next morning with these guys, just thanking them because, you know, what they do for me, the sacrifices, you know, that Kira and obviously the kids coming over to new schools, you know, they're all in. You know, it's my family, number one. I always say rugby league's going to be a close second because you're so much into it, but this is number one. And those guys' families, they're number one. It's the most important thing to us. But, you know, we certainly enjoy everything about this club because of the family club.
Willie Kira, boys, go and join the team. Congratulations, Willie.
Couple of points to pick up on that. The first thing you'd say is that Willie Peters probably wasn't on many people's radars when appointed here in late 2022 by Hull Kingston Rovers. The second part to that is I'd say he's on plenty of people's radars right now.
Yeah, I think he was one of the smartest bits of recruitment that Hull KR have made. I think it's easy to retrospectively say that because of how well it's gone. But you're right, a naive appointment in some ways at the start of his coaching journey. But he's somebody who has the obsession needed to become a fantastic coach. He lives and breathes it. We just had Danny Ward on the podcast The Bench, and he speaks about voice notes at midnight, just wondering if they've boxed off an element of a performance that they need to cover off on. That obsession, Neil Hudgell mentioned it before the game, and say that in Willie Peters they've got somebody who sweats the details, and his team are detailed and they follow his lead, don't they?
I'll let you into something. I rented a room off him when we played together at Gateshead. He used to send me to bed and stay up late at night watching videos, and not those kinds of videos from the NRL, from Super League. So dedicated was he to pursuing the cause.
And I imagine that's pretty contagious, right? So Danny Ward and Sean Kenny-Dowell, all those people that are working with him, his players, will become obsessed with that detail because they know that that's what he's asking about on a Monday morning. All the little things about what you put in your mouth, how you train, how you apply yourself. The words that you say, the vocabulary that you use infects everybody. And in time, you just create a wonderful culture. I've been in teams as well that have won Challenge Cups and then not won a single game for the rest of the season, right? Winning can be as destructive as losing, but what is proven tonight is that there's more to this Hull KR side to come.
Let's hear from a couple more with Jenna. She's with the captain, the man who got to lift the trophy after 45 years. She's lost the captain.
You know what, Brian? You took too long to get to me.
Well,
He's walked
Jamie
off.
was telling us about his 7. Jamie was telling us about his 7 wins.
Let's give him his moment in front of his beloved fans. I dare say he is quite the legend of this club. He's got tears in his eyes, Brian, I can tell you that. I'll see if he'll have a word with me, Elliot. Elliot, no, absolutely no worries at all. This is your team, this is your club. You wanted to be captain of this famous side. You are, and guess what? You brought them silverware, first piece of silverware in 40 years.
Yeah, it feels great. We're just such a connected team. We all work hard for each other. I think we did that tonight as well, you know. It's been really easy just to take the foot off the gas and enjoy what we did last week, but that's not what we're about. We want to win every week, so this is great. Just try to soak it all up.
Will anything ever match this?
Well, hopefully if we do something similar in October, that's the plan. So just keep our feet on the ground, keep working, and we've had a taste of it now, we want it again.
The last captain to bring silverware to Hull KR, as we know, was Roger Millwood. He's got a stand. What have you asked for, Elliot?
I'll be happy with a bar or something like that, I'm not sure, but no, look, those things, they come after you finish, and I'm nowhere near done. I want to taste more success, and what we tasted at the weekend was unbelievable, and it's addictive, and I want more of it.
Go and enjoy this moment, Elliot Minchella. Congratulations.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a big beast sitting over on the other side of the country in the shape of the reigning champions. This is the point you're making, Jamie, and this is Willie Peters knows this, Elliot Minchella knows this. The reigning champions, who now sit 4 points behind Hull KR in the league with a game to come, they'll be watching this. They will be licking their lips. These sides will meet again later on this year. Hull Kingston Rovers, Wigan Warriors. This is now just going to do nothing but fire up Matt Pete's side.
Yeah, I think we're going to the best team in the competition.
You think that as we stand right now?
I think we're going to the best team in the competition. I think watching this will antagonise them to some extent. I think they're humble enough to just congratulate Hull KR for their achievement, but they will believe, and rightly so, that they're the greatest team in our competition. Hull KR have got to do it against Wigan in a big game. They must. That's their big challenge. That's their nemesis. That's their big moment this year is when they face off against Wigan next time round.
Round 22, 15th of August, live with us on Sky Sports. Wigan against Hull KR. Make a date for your diary. Former Wigan Warrior, now a proud Robin, and the try-scoring hero from the Wembley final. Tom Davies with Jenna.
Tom, Brian just mentioned the try on Saturday. Was that the most important try of your career?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, we made hard work of the game, but at the end of the day, we managed to come on the right side of the result, and to be able to bring the trophy back and celebrate with everyone here, it's a special moment for us.
Did you even have time to think about what was about to happen in that moment?
No, probably not, but I think I'd rather have it that way, less thinking time as possible.
Has it sunk in?
No, to be honest. You know, we set our standards at the start of the season and what we wanted to achieve, and you know, we managed to get one now, which is brilliant, and we celebrated that, and yeah, we're just focusing on the next job now and crack on with the rest of the season.
Tom, let's keep walking because the players are up here. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings towards your team at the minute?
Yeah, look, I'm absolutely loving my time here. It's been brilliant since I joined. We've got a really special group, and you know, 1 to 17, whoever's in that week, whoever's playing, just puts it all on the line, and yeah, I'm very proud of all of them.
Tom, I'll go let you celebrate with the guys. Thank you. And this is the man, Mikey Lewis. Here he is. He's the one that kicked the winning points. Just try and let us into your thoughts. In that moment, what was going through your mind?
Physically numb. Sean Kenny now come up to me and said, you're made for this moment. I told him to, yeah, I won't repeat what I said to him.
Please don't.
But my body was physically numb. And I was so focused on the job, and you know, I just had to do my routine and just trust it and hope, and yeah, it went over.
And look at this, what a party.
Yeah, very good party. We put a really good performance in tonight, and we really wanted to put a statement out there, you know. We partied on weekend, but, you know, we come in Wednesday, they were to turn up, see what Hull KR turned up, and I feel like we were back to Hull KR, and yeah, we really enjoyed it tonight.
I'm pretty sure they enjoyed it as well. Just elaborate a little bit more about the fans, what they mean to you, what they mean to your teammates.
Yeah, they mean so much to us. You know, they travel down in thousands on the weekend. Thousands tonight. They're all having a party again, I swear. It's going to be a weekend of partying because, you know, this club deserves a trophy. Now we've done it. You know, we want to strive to get 2 more, and that's the job now, and we want to enjoy this moment with our family, with these fans. That's the connection we've got, and you know, we'll turn our focus on to, you know, back in the year now.
So have you been speaking about the treble then, winning the treble?
Yeah, we briefly spoke about it. We're chasing it, but you know, we all know we need a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, sacrifices to get there. You know, we've got a fantastic team like Wigan, who we're fighting against, but you know, we'll keep turning up every week, keep our feet on the ground, and see where it takes us.
Mikey Lewis, you're quite the club.